Gunslinger Brett Favre continues to perform, but the threat of retirement has general manager Ted Thompson thinking about the future. That's when Green Bay made their dream pick.
With the 24th selection in the 2005 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Aaron Rodgers, quarterback of California.
Once taking over as the starter, Rodgers' career would blossom. 147 wins, 475 touchdown passes, 4 MVPs, and 1 championship. Aaron Rodgers is on his way to a gold jacket.
Over the middle, caught, touchdown. The Lombardi Trophy is coming home.
This Green Bay Dream Pick is presented by American Family Insurance. American Family Insurance is always a great pick because their agents are there to protect your dreams. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yes, you heard me correctly. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win.
You're listening to the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It is, I was going to say Kyle Bruston Nortman, but it's the ESPN Wisconsin Spectacular Draft Day Special.
Yeah.
As we are live from Green Bay, the Tundra Trio Lambeau for the NFL Draft. You may be thinking, why is Kyle talking to us? It's because Benny Brush just got up and ran off because he saw Evan
pulled the
Collins.
Kyle.
You said what?
He pulled the Kyle. He left with 30 seconds until the segment.
It was less than 30 seconds to the segment that he left, but he saw Evan Cohen and he got scared and he ran off. Will he be back? I have no idea. But again, I'm Kyle Walls. With me is Bradley Nortman, who on this day, well, not quite this day, but at this event, the draft, day 1, 2, or 3, you were drafted day 3.
Day 3.
You got the experience to get that call, right? So many experience so many people are going to get throughout this weekend. And then also Alex Strofe, who's getting a lot of gruff because he's now back in our lives like an absent father. I don't know what's so funny. It's true.
Wow. Well, okay.
I do feel like you're like a long-lost friend.
So I do feel like there's been – I think we should hash this out without Ben here because I know he's the crankiest of the bunch. I feel like there's been a little animosity towards me this week. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Usually that emotion follows abandonment.
Okay. Let me rephrase the question. Brad, do you feel any animosity towards me given my absence this week?
Animosity is too strong. It's too strong.
Annoyance?
No, not annoyance. I guess I just feel a little bit like I just feel like I've been abandoned a little bit. I feel like a little bit of a hole in my heart.
But do you feel like I'm not doing good for not only Kyle Bruston Nortman, but I'm doing good for ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison, ESPN Wisconsin?
Oh wow, here we go, company guy.
Don't you feel like I'm providing good things and good entertainment and good content for our company as a whole this week?
You know what? You know what this is? We should go ahead and get that gas and get some lighter fluid because you are gaslighting my boy and you're gaslighting me right now and manipulating us. No, this has been all about you this week and you pushing your career, which you should, buddy. I'm not mad at you. You know why?
Why's that?
Because I actually like you. If I didn't like you, I would be.
Yeah, it's hard to get mad at you, Strofe.
Yeah, it is.
But Ben mad at me. Is that fair?
You're gunning for his job.
I think Ben feels like you're bound any day for your own show, and you're going to be abandoning us, and then we're going to be left then without the backbone.
Is this
Kyle
the conversation that was that happened yesterday?
Yes, because then we were saying part-time Will, get ready for full-time Will.
Yeah,
because it just might happen.
I got the text. I got the text from part-time Will yesterday, and it said, "Can you call in?" And I said, sure. Sorry, I was helping. We had the Fantasy Focus podcast here with Field Yates, Stefania Bell, Daniel Dopp, Mike Clay, Liz Loza last night. And I was helping them set up, and I saw the text a few minutes late. And I said, sure, what's the subject matter? And he said, I don't know, the guys just want you to call in, which I know Will lied to me. He definitely knew something was up. And then I got hung up on 2 minutes into my phone call by Ben Brust. So I just felt as if there was some animosity existing between the four of us.
Has this been pondering your mind for the last 24 hours?
I did text Will this morning and said, hey, was Ben mad at me?
Oh, wow. Oh, you're so soft. Oh, my God.
I wasn't worried about you two. That's why I'm having the conversation with you two on the air.
It does feel like you have, like your girlfriend is out there flirting with other people. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It feels like, man, do you still love me?
Hey, you know what I do?
Of course I love you.
Okay, good.
This is what not now, but back in the day, if somebody had to flirt with somebody, you know what I do? I said, oh, that's the game we playing. Well, guess what? Mac Daddy coming back out, baby. I'm back in these streets.
Mac Daddy?
Yeah. I will be coming back out, but no.
Hold on.
Go on.
Mac Daddy?
No, y'all never heard the term Mac Daddy?
I have, but I've never referred to myself as Mac Daddy.
Because obviously you was never a Mac Daddy. That's the problem.
No, that's probably true, though.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I love Lexi.
I love Lexi, exactly. So
okay, but it's good. It feels good to be reunited. Certainly, distance makes the heart grow fonder,
Sure.
and the heart was fond. So
Are you guys here tomorrow?
I am here
tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm off tomorrow.
Where are you?
Dan, wait a minute. You open this man business. Why you open this business? You don't have to listen.
I'm going to Jacksonville.
You don't have to disclose.
This was planned a long time ago.
But you don't have to
I guess the
disclose.
draft was too.
Yeah, it sure was. Sure was. So you were choosing a vacation over reacting to the Packers' first-round pick in Green Bay with us?
Maybe I'll call in. No. Not maybe.
Y'all fall into peer pressure way too. I mean, I'm one that falls into peer pressure.
I mean, look, Brad takes vacation. I understand when we hired him at ESPN Wisconsin.
I'm a former athlite. I need to be pampered.
Right,
Yes,
exactly.
I'm used to the NFL offseason.
This one is crazy.
No,
and I mean that as your friend. That's a bold choice, Cotton.
I mean, he's earned it. You know, he made it to the NFL. He got his name called. Once you get your name called over the weekend, you become a star. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are. We know that. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, NFL draft, what's the big deal? And they're done that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. 800-990-3776. I know we were supposed to talk about draft day 1 or 2 expectations, but I feel like
it wasn't expectations. The question Ben posed, which is an easy question to answer, is
you go. I set up I think he botched the question.
Okay, you set it up your way.
I proposed the question.
We're playing a really bad game of telephone right now.
Do you have higher expectations for the Packers in day 1 or day 2? That was the question.
Yeah, for me, when I think about that, my expectations for the Packers, I understand in day 2, right? The Green Bay Packers have cooked, right? They've done a lot better of late, of drafting in day 2. But this is what I don't want us to fall into the trap of, because this is what Goody's doing. He's laying the trap for us to fall into it and us to just settle. Let me tell you something. There's nothing about Kyle Wallace that settles at all, and I'm not settling for falling into the trap of having low expectations for day 1. So I still have high expectations for day 1, regardless of how many times Goody has failed in round 1. So for me, when I go into the draft, the reason I get so upset at a Lucas Van Ness, the reason that I get so disappointed in a guy like a Quay Walker for taking time to develop, is because of the fact that these are the guys that I expect to be able to contribute to the roster instantly. So when I have to wait year after year after year, it becomes extremely frustrating. So day 1 expectations are still higher for me than day 2, day 3. Don't fall into the trap of allowing him to have low expectations on the day that truly matters.
But I don't think it's necessarily falling into a trap when that's the evidence you've been shown.
Yes.
Right? Is day 1 do not make immediate impacts under Brian Gutekunst. It's just the fact of the matter the last several years. Now, I'm not saying he can't buck that trend this year, because I hope he does. Right? He says buck that Kyle Wallace style.
Oh. But buck that. But why are we – but my question is this for you, and I don't know
There's
what
a bump
thinks.
stat.
Bumps that.
Bumps that. Forget
I like
that.
buck that too, though.
Oh yeah, buck that.
Buck that trend. Move that bus on Home Improvement.
Yes.
The Buck is too close to something else, and I'm not doing that.
The Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah.
That's what you're referring to?
That's what I'm referring to. Go Bucks. But my thing is this, is that you fell into the trap. If you're going to sit here and say his past performance has led you to think that I need to have higher expectations for day 2 and day 3, then that's messed up. That is completely messed up. Do y'all realize that there were other organizations that said this? They would be wanting to fire the general manager. But if you sucked on day 1,
But Kyle, this is you guys know Pavlov's dog, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ben often references it because it's one of the few historical things he knows.
Yeah, it's like pop culture, right? So they would feed the dog and ding a bell at the same time. And that would create a relationship between feeding and the bell. They would take away the food and ding the bell, and the dog would salivate. Now, that is exactly my expectations in my relationship with Brian Gutekunst in the first round. When I hear the dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun, and I know it's the first round, my Pavlovian expectation is low. That's just what it is, because I have been conditioned to feel that way over 7 first-round draft picks for Brian Gutekunst. Yeah. Now, day 2, I've been conditioned in the same way to say, okay, now we're going to aggressively attack our needs with guys that have been productive and can actually play right away. So my expectations for day 2, it is crazy to say, but my expectations for day 2 are higher than day 1. I'm actually watching the draft with more of a fine-tooth comb day 2.
Do y'all realize how pathetic that is? And right now,
the Pavlovian reference, or just the idea of Goody's lack of success?
That idea. There's a general manager who is here right now, probably because he wasn't good in round 1. And so that's the whole point.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
So that is my whole point.
That is right there.
That is my whole point, though.
Who said that?
That's the whole problem, though, is that we have let those expectations be so low. You find guys in the first round who are supposed to be different.
Said that.
I didn't say it loudly. Only KBN Nation heard me. I didn't say that too loudly, man. I don't want to hurt the man's feelings, but my whole point is this. That's what we need to do as he's looking at us.
He's walking closer.
But again, I just don't want y'all to fall into that trap, because I truly think it's a trap and it's a misstep for us to believe that we should have low expectations from our round 1 pick. That's how Goody gets away with having so many, let's just say it right now, round one bust. That's how he gets away with a Lucas Van Ness. That's how he gets away with a Eric Stokes. That's how he gets away with a Darnell Savage. It's because we lowered the expectation for round 1. And he didn't start cooking in round 2 and 3 until 2 drafts ago.
I don't know. I suppose you have a point with like keeping expectations high, because this is the NFL, this is Titletown USA in Green Bay, and this is the Green Bay Packers. So there's no excuse for it. If anything, you're right. This puts Goody on thin ice. I just do not expect the guy that we called our shot on. I just don't expect it. I expect somebody else who is a diamond in the rough, and hopefully that it turns into a polished, beautiful stone.
This is Kyle Bruston-Nortman live from Green Bay, the NFL draft. But this is the thing about that, though. Like, that should be frustrating with the fact that we all gave rational reasons why. And again, we are not draft experts, but every single last one of us has spent hours and hours and hours and hours. And KBN Nation has spent hours and hours and hours and hours watching football, watching draft stuff. So for Goody to think that he knows more than everybody else, it has not been proven to be true on day 1. 800-990-3776. That is the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. If you have any comments, you can definitely call in or text in on the carbless talk and text line here on Kyle Bruston-Nortman.
And I need you to call in on the carbless talk and text line right now, because up next we play one of our favorite games, over under, caller 8, caller 12. On the Carbless Talk and text line right now. Caller 8, you will learn the topic from Chris Larson. He will give you the over-under. You will pick over or under. Caller 12, you will be stuck on the other side, whichever side hits. You are going to get hooked up with a prize from ESPN Wisconsin. 800-990-3776 is the Carbless Talk and text line. Caller 8, caller 12 right now, 800-990-3776.
More coming up next on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And now, unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see on the horizon, Green Bay is going to run this thing back and probably pick up an early round draft pick to add to that room.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you hope that these other guys will emerge and can add, but I don't see them making a J.R. Ewing type change.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Turn up the volume and turn up the flavor with Tequila Mi Campo. Tequila made for those who choose to live louder. Just like a draft day pick in Green Bay, Mi Campo is the bold choice that brings excitement and anticipation to every moment. Mi Campo is crafted for utterly in-your-face flavor, made with 100% Blue Weber agave, aged in wine barrels for incredibly smooth taste. Ready for however you like to turn it up. Mi Campo, live louder. Please enjoy responsibly. 2025, imported by Mi Campo Spirits, Canandaigua, New York. Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume.
What fills your cup? Those things, big and small, that make each day rewarding. Here's what fills our cup at Educators Credit Union. When you walk in the lobby and see your favorite teller, cultivating financial literacy to build stronger communities. And we help you buy a home when you didn't think it was possible. The best part? Seeing you leave with a smile because we made a difference in your life. It fills our cup to see you succeed because we're more than a financial. We're people helping people. Educators Credit Union. Achieving more together. Insured by NCUA.
Save big money on all of your Purdy tools to help you finish your next painting project. Menards carries Purdy paintbrushes, roller covers, prep tools, trays, kits, and more to help you get the job done right. Purdy brushes have been handcrafted in the USA for 100 years and are the #1 brand preferred by professionals. Save big on Purdy painting tools, and don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Draft week is here, and whether you're watching every pick or just there for the party, Higher Love has everything you need to elevate your draft experience. As the best in the Midwest, Higher Love offers the largest selection of organic, clean, green, certified products at unbeatable value, making them the can't-miss top pick. Higher Love Menominee, just an hour from Green Bay, right across the Wisconsin border. Find them at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Don't miss a second of the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
Dad make the beat switch, turn on, so give $1 million to him. Right now I got so many villas booked on like a villain to him. Dirk's boy told me Marvin's Room was his favorite song.
It is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, live from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Live from the Tundra Trio outside of Lambeau Field, and live from the biggest sporting event happening in the world this weekend, the NFL Draft. It is Kyle Bruss and Nortman. I am Kyle Wallace. He is Brad Nortman. Also, our boy Strofe is up here with us. Ben is running around ducking smoke from Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. We're going to have to give him some trash for that. But right now it's time for Over Under. Go ahead and spin it, Chris.
Will the guys hit the over, or will they disappoint? It's time for Over Under on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
It is Over Under on KBN. Kyle and Brad, the team today, as I have picked a category. The two of them will try to team up to get as many as they can in 3 minutes. And we will see if they hit the over or the under today. Caller 8 was Ben in Grafton. He is not a believer in Kyle and Brad. He is on the under. Caller 12, Shay in South Dakota. South Dakota. Shay is on the over. What's today, guys?
Today is April 24th, NFL Draft.
Today is actually my 1-year anniversary of being a producer.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
It has nothing to do with the over-under.
Congratulations to you.
Okay. Today is the first day of the NFL Draft. Yes. Naturally, as we know, as we are here live in Green Bay at the Tundra Trio. I am looking for, fellas, the last 10 offensive players drafted in the first round by the Green Bay Packers.
I need a pin, and I don't trust Ben's pin
I
here.
am looking for the last 10 offensive players drafted in the first round by the Green Bay Packers. Who is going to be our final answer before I give you your over-under?
Brad, do you want to be final answer?
Sure.
So I can
So
think
Brad
through?
is going to be your final answer. The over-under is 6.5. So you need 7 or more to hit the over. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1.
All right, so
Well, Jordan Love, final answer.
Jordan Love is correct. 2020.
How many-
he was a first-round
how
pick.
many do we need
Derek Sherrod, final answer.
It is 6.5 is the over-under. Derek Sherrod is the final answer, Brad?
Yeah, final answer.
That is correct as well. In 2011, Derek Sherrod.
So Brian Bulaga, final answer.
That is correct. 2010.
We're going back pretty far. I don't think Goody hasn't taken one.
Jordan Morgan, final answer.
Oh, good point.
Jordan Morgan was last year. That is correct.
Morgan,
You
final.
do have, here's a hint for you guys, you have the 4 most recent.
Okay, so now we need to
Wow.
go back. So Javon Walker's probably on this list.
He might
Brad.
be toward the end. Let's put him at the. Yeah.
Well, no, he might because you had Ahmad Carroll, you had
Nick Perry.
Nick
You
Perry's
had
the
those are
defensive lineman.
defense. As I'm
So
going to
let's go Javon Walker final answer.
Yeah, Javon Walker final.
Javon Walker is on this list in 2002, 23 years
All right,
ago.
Now we need to think about. So we know it wasn't. We know it wasn't a receiver. We know it wasn't a running back.
Who are?
Bubba Frank's final answer.
Bubba Franks is correct. In 2000, you guys have 6. You need one more.
This is the problem.
It gets murky. I don't think there's anyone else.
I'm trying to think.
You've got plenty of time. You still got over 90 seconds.
The only other thing.
Oh,
well, Aaron Rodgers.
final
Aaron
answer.
Rodgers. I really thought you guys were going to blow that. Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers.
is correct. In 2005, that's 7 of them. The other 3 you were never going to get.
Sterling Sharp, final answer.
No. That is
the
wrong.
80s.
You were never going to get him. It was 3 offensive linemen.
Tony Mandris, final answer.
No, he doesn't crack the list either. Ross Verba in 1997.
Oh, wow.
John Michaels in 1996. And Aaron Taylor in 1994. The last 3
Ross
names on this
Verba is
list.
the only one that actually registers a little bit, but
I was going to put it 7.5, but I was like,
That was too
those
hard.
3,
Yeah.
there's no way.
I was never.
Did you actually think the name you needed to win it all would be the easiest name on this list, debatably?
Well, we were going to get to Aaron Rodgers at some point when we focused.
I mean, there
in.
was a solid 25 seconds there where you just forgot about him.
Well, because
Yeah.
I was trying to think, okay, who's before 2002, and then wait a minute, and then I feel like we had the epiphany around the same time. Wait a minute, Aaron Rodgers.
how can you forget Aaron Rodgers? It's easier when they get drafted and there's some level of production right away, but he sat for 3 years, and it's almost like they always had Aaron Rodgers.
You know what's so crazy about that is the fact that the Green Bay Packers have drafted so few players in the first round of the offense and have had a defense that has never been, to me, a consistent, stalwart defense to write home about.
Well,
like,
I
you
mean,
draft all these guys, Justin Harrell, failures. Like, a lot of guys did not work out.
This list goes back to, what was the latest Strofe? Was 1996?
1994.
1994. So, I mean, the 2 Super Bowls had great defenses, and part of that was free agency with Reggie White and Charles Woodson, but then part of it was, building through the draft with that 96 team and that 2010 team.
Can we have an honest conversation about the Green Bay Packers first round drafting, though? When I look at it just from here,
I thought this was the positivity
No.
show
But
for you.
let's be honest. They cooked with Clay Matthews, B.J. Raji, Brian Bulaga. After that, it's been pretty rough. You're talking about Derek Sherrod, which he had the unfortunate injury where somebody came from the backside and messed up his leg. Nick Perry did not work out. Dayton Jones did not work out. Clinton Dix did not work out. Damaris Randall didn't work out. Kenny Clark's still on the roster. Jair's about to be gone. Savage didn't work out. Gary worked. Love worked. Stokes, Wyatt, Walker, Van Ness, and Morgan. I mean,
but this is why I ask, you still have confidence and high expectation for day one?
I guess you know what, I should reconsider that because you're right, based off history, why should I? Like, it sucks. The Packers have missed more often in the first round than they hit.
What's remarkable is the Packers' success, albeit not being able to be, very successful in the first round.
Yeah, Ted Thompson has done a fabulous job, and then you had Goody do a fabulous job as well of building up that roster. Finally, Goody found a way to figure out what that recipe is outside of the first round. And will this be the year here in Green Bay that he actually figures out the formula in the first round?
How is the Brad and Kyle hour going to look? I got to run.
Oh, wow.
You have Evan Cohen coming up at 3:30.
Okay.
Jason Wilde at 3:15.
Jason Wilde is not at 3:15 due to a prior obligation here at the Tundra Trio, but he will join us in the 4 o'clock hour, it sounds like.
That's good to know.
I don't know when Ben Brust is rejoining you.
Oh, wow.
I am rejoining you likely at the end of the 4 o'clock hour.
Oh, wow. Where are you going?
I also have a prior obligation here at the Tundra Trio.
What
and
is
off
that prior
base.
obligation?
So at one point, I'm actually going to call in because I am heading over later in the 4 o'clock hour to Stadium View, a bar up the street, with our friends from Pit Boss Grills.
Oh.
They are hosting a pulled pork eating contest at Stadium View that I am a live correspondent from.
They're making pulled pork?
They are giving contestants 5 minutes to eat 3 pounds of pulled pork.
Oh, that is disturbing.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
So I will be. It gets to going at 5 at the end of our show, but I will call in the 4 o'clock hour to say hello to you guys from Stadium View if you can even hear me, because I know it's going to be a freaking party over there. So I have a couple obligations, and then I am back with all of you beginning at 6 o'clock on ESPN Wisconsin Draft Night from 6 to midnight. So I think I've been on the air now for 3 hours. I'm going to do 6 more later. That's a pretty full work day, I would argue, Brad. Or do you miss me, or am I abandoning you again?
There is a level of abandonment, but my love tank is now filled because we were able to spend the last hour together. And not to tease, what I think I just came up with a theory in my mind that we're going to talk about in the next segment. I think I know exactly why the Green Bay Packers have only drafted 10 offensive players in the first round since 1994.
Oh, Brad with a great tease. Keep it locked. You're listening to the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day Spectacular right here on ESPN Wisconsin.
Here's Frank Wazalewski, Vice President of Access.
There are some national factory direct companies that are selling people stair lifts at twice their value. They're breaking within a year, and they can't get service. So now people are paying 3 times what they should have paid from the get-go had they just gone to a local and reputable company. Call us, give us your price from your local contractor. We're going to beat it.
Access, the leaders in ADA general contracting since 1990. Will beat any stair lift quote provided by a local company. Visit allaboutaccess.com.
Tailgate season, company victory party, don't let your event fall short. V Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. V Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore vprivatebar.com and leave the mixing to us.
Beat the tariffs this month at Cunis. Get your tariff-free car, truck, or SUV before they're gone. All current in-stock new vehicles are not affected. Plus, take advantage of employee pricing and huge manufacturer discounts on select brands and models. Shop from over 2,800 cars, trucks, and SUVs group-wide from 18 new vehicle brands. Our loan experts will work to get you our best interest rate possible. And our Fresh Start financing program can help you get approved regardless of your credit. Plus, you're covered by our lifetime no-fear powertrain warranty, included with qualified new and pre-owned vehicle purchases. Visit your local Cunis dealership today for your tariff-free vehicle while they last. But don't wait, because once they're gone, they're gone. With over 30 locations across the Midwest, there's sure to be a Cunis location near you. Start your search online at shopcunis.com. That's shopkunes.com.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
In the 2025 NFL Draft, the NFL selects Green Bay, Wisconsin.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance.
Goody has to start figuring out his first-round draft picks.
And I blame Goody for the fact that we're in the position that we are now because he did not do enough to build an offense that could be primed and ready for Jordan Love to get the keys and rev it.
This is the most important offseason Goody's going to have. How are they going to thread the needle?
Now broadcasting live from outside the shadow of Lambeau Field, here's Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, and Brad Nortman.
What up, KBN Nation? We are back for the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular. ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison, ESPN Beaver Dam. Yes, you hear the crowd cheering for us. Yes, no, they are cheering for the man, the myth, the legend himself. Our head coach, Matt LaFleur, has showed up here at the Tundra Trio, as he has a big day today. He's spending some time here at the Tundra Trio talking about the Green Bay Packers. But again, this is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular. I am Kyle Walls. He is Brad Nortman. This is Kyle Bruston Nortman. No Brad Brust right now. Brust is out running around doing his thing, scared of Evan Cohen. But on the other side, Brad, you teased something a little bit. Brad, can you tell everybody here in KBN Nation what you teased and what you want to talk about?
Yeah, I would love to. I was just figuring out. Okay, Ben leaves, Strofe leaves, and the kids are left in town. Here we go. Thank you, Kyle Wallace. Okay, here we go. Here is what I believe. Here's what I believe the Packers do, because we just heard the stat from Over Under, right? Since 1994. That is over 31 years ago.
Oh, Tucker Kraft is here, too.
They've only – oh, how about that? Yes, so Matt LaFleur is here. Tucker Kraft is here. This is the center of the NFL draft experience right now. Kyle, I'm going to need you to keep your head in the game, though. I know there's a lot of Green Bay Packers.
There's a lot of Packers here.
You're trying to listen to Matt LaFleur. We're trying to get autographs with Tucker Kraft. By the way, Tucker Kraft looks like a big dude.
He's a big dude. Boy. He stands out in the crowd. But what were you saying, Brad?
I'm saying, so we know. Here's the facts, right? 10 guys drafted in the first round since 1994. All the rest has been defense.
Mm-hmm.
My theory that I just came up with, now that I know that that's the fact, is that the Packers are going to prioritize drafting and getting that franchise quarterback. That's obvious. But what they expect that franchise quarterback to do is elevate everyone around them. Like I'm looking at you, Kyle Wallace. You've got this dazzling sport coat on right now. From where?
Shout out to Nick Avani's in Mayfair Mall, the home of the $100 hookup. Prom is coming. Y'all might as well go ahead and get y'all $100 hookup. Nick Avani's in Mayfair Mall.
That's right. And the expectation of Kyle Wallace's outfit is that sport coat to elevate everything else. The pants, the shirts, the bow tie and the shoes, they all look better. The hair, they all look better because the sport coat elevates the rest of the outfit. In the same way, the Green Bay Packers look at their quarterback and they say, okay, we drafted you. You're our quarterback one. Our expectations are so high for you that we expect you to be able to do more with less. They put more pressure on their quarterback. They put more pressure on the head coach and the offensive mind like Matt LaFleur and say, now that we got our head coach, we got our quarterback, we're going to focus on the defense, and your job is to elevate everyone around you. So we're not going to do the wide receiver in the first round. We're not going to do the first-round running back. We're going to protect you, but we are going to make you be the man and show us you're the man by doing more with less. And maybe that's one of the reasons why that, yes, there are high-profile offenses under Favre and Rodgers, but maybe that's one of the only reasons why they only got to one Super Bowl is because they put so much pressure on them, and they say, we're going to support the defense because if you are the guy you say you are, you'll be able to elevate a third, fourth, and a fifth-round draft pick anyway.
Yeah, and the thing about that is I think you're absolutely spot on when you say that the Green Bay Packers put so much pressure on their starting quarterback to elevate everybody around them. And here's the thing. It has worked well. I'm not going to act like winning the Super Bowl is not something that always should happen. It's special, right? It's somebody in yourself, Brad, who played in the Super Bowl but never really won a Super Bowl, and you understand it's hard to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand what the Packers did was amazing. They won a Super Bowl. Great. But, again, we talk about the formula. Is the formula working? Does the system work if you have two franchise quarterbacks? And I hate when people want to argue about the Green Bay Packers and how great of an organization it is. I hate when other fans bring up the fact, well, you had two Hall of Fame quarterbacks and you only got to 3 Super Bowls, so you guys suck. And that's the thing is I have no real comeback because I do think it is a shame that the Green Bay Packers had two legendary quarterbacks and only went to 3 Super Bowls. And that's why I think at a certain point you have to change. And also we have to understand, I love Jordan Love, and I think Jordan Love can be really, really great. I think he can be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. But the problem is this, is you cannot put the same level of expectations on Jordan Love to elevate the way the other 2 quarterbacks did. You're pushing your luck. We already got lucky and use skill as well by you evaluating, you coach up a guy. You got 3 franchise quarterbacks in a row without having any break in between. Fantastic. But now let's do something a little different. Let's support Jordan Love with more weapons. You got him an offensive lineman. Great. We're going to have a great offensive line with a great rushing attack. But also let's get him some receivers that we don't have to have conversations where Matt LaFleur, who's on the stage right now, is talking about guys not getting separation, guys not running the right route, guys dropping passes. I don't want to have those conversations. I want to put guys around Jordan Love to give him the greatest opportunity to be successful, and I want to give Matt LaFleur, who we all know is a coach and offensive mind genius, and give him the weapons to be able to thrive and be able to have a lot of different guys to be able to dispense on the football field.
Well, you're exactly right, Kyle, because even as much as I love Jordan Love, and I do love Jordan Love, he's no Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. No. Certainly not right now, and I don't even expect him to be that. I mean, I don't expect him to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. If he can be a consistent Pro Bowler, maybe even All-Pro a couple times in his career, maybe win one MVP, that would be absolutely successful. And I don't think you can treat his time in Green Bay in the same way you treated Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, right? Mm-hmm. Because he's going to need more guys around him to be able to allow this offense to flourish. He's very good. He's knocking on the door of being great. But you can't just say, here are some second and third round wide receivers, some 2 and 3 day guys, now go be great. I think you're going to need just absolute studs around him to be able to make him flourish. And I don't think that's too much to ask. Yeah. It's very rare that you could get a first ballot Hall of Famer in Rodgers and Favre and just say, okay, you guys are that good, you guys can go elevate everyone. I think Jordan Love can elevate, but I think he needs a little bit more help than those guys need.
And this is a big issue that I have, and we've talked about it, right? Brian Bulaga joined us yesterday here on Kyle Bruston Nortman, and he talked about he feels good about the receiver room, right? That's a word what is that? Good is an adjective? What is that?
Yeah, it's an adjective. It feels good.
So
he's describing his feelings.
So exactly. So it's an adjective, right? He felt good about him, right? We've heard Tausch and Willie talk about, or Willie and Tausch talk about the fact that, we still want to see them take the next step. We weren't having these same conversations for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers had guys, right?
Yeah,
he had
did.
a receiver room. And
from the start until the end.
And from the start.
Well, maybe not the very last season, but through Devontae.
Through the majority of his career, he walked not only into a great situation, but he walked into a situation where he had veteran wide receivers who had found success. Even Brett Favre walked into a situation where he played with a Hall of Famer now in Sterling Sharp.
Yeah.
But Jordan Love does not have that same team around him. And so this is the thing. If we're talking about replicating success, maybe Jordan Love is not going to be able to reach his potential because the team around him is not good enough. He cannot do it alone. Yes, Aaron Rodgers elevated guys. Yes, Brett Favre elevated guys, but also they played with dudes who are legit great players. Sterling Sharp going to the Hall of Fame. Donald Driver is a Packers Hall of Famer, and I mean, maybe one day he'll be in a conversation for the Hall of Fame, but he is leading receiver in Packers history, right? Greg Jennings was the dude that left Green Bay and got a big-time contract. Jordy Nelson, he delivered. Devontae Adams, great player. Heck, James Jones was so good that the Packers.
Randall Cobb.
Right, exactly. So we're talking about all these different guys, and Jordan Love has not gotten his Randall Cobb. Jordan Love hasn't gotten his James Jones. Hell, Jordan Love has not gotten his Jordy Nelson. He has not have been given the same advantage that these other two guys had. And so this is why it's so important for Goody to go out there specifically in this draft and finally give his franchise quarterback a dude that can be a difference maker catching the football. You got the rushing attack. You have the offensive line. Now give your quarterback somebody to throw the football to.
Well, and what drives me crazy, because all the receivers you just mentioned were all studs. Now, not all of them are wide receiver ones, because James Jones is not a wide receiver one, but he's a great Robin. He's a great B. But the thing that he was, that maybe if a guy, Randall Cobb was maybe a 1/2, but all those guys were consistent.
Yes,
right? They were
They
consistent.
were.
We got Wicks and Reed and Dobbs right now, and even who's injured, Christian Watson. Those guys show flashes, but they're not consistent. Like, give me consistency. All the time I heard in the Carolina locker room and from the folks up above, be the same guy. Just be the same guy, whether it's in the weight room or in the meeting room or on the field. I would rather have slightly less production and that consistent production than you're great one day and you stink the next. I don't know how you can game plan. I don't know how you're able to show consistency. I don't know how you're able to get into an offensive rhythm if you're experiencing that much up and down, and that's what they had. And think about the guys that you've listed from start to finish, from 1992 when Favre took over with Sterling Sharp, all the way to Devontae Adams, and you had Favre and Rodgers. Love is not Favre and Rodgers, and he has less. That's a problem.
That is a problem. 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless talk and text line. List is more. You can call in, you can text in. But is the Packers draft formula, by just drafting mostly defense, is that failing Jordan Love? Is that hurting Jordan Love? Is that not putting Jordan Love in this offense in a position to be successful? 800-990-3776. Again, that's the Carbless talk and text line. You can also watch and stream us live right on ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison for the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular as we are live from the NFL Draft in Green Bay. If you hear a little bit of noise in the background, you say, does that sound like Matt LaFleur? Yep, that is exactly Matt LaFleur who are joining Mark Tauscher and Jason Wilde right now on stage. But again, we want to hear from you. Is the Packers draft formula of drafting defensive players, prioritizing the defensive side of the ball over the offensive side of the ball, is that a failing formula for Jordan Love? 800-990-3776. We'll have more conversation on the other side. This is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular on Kyle, Bruss, and Norton.
More coming up next on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance.
Starting off with some delays out there for sure. First of all, we've got northbound 41 really backed up from Blue Mound Road pretty much all the way up to Capitol Drive. This is some road work that's going on through there. A couple of broken down vehicles along the way, but they're out of traffic, so heads up with that. Southbound, we got backups just south of Main Street all the way down to Silver Spring. On 43 heading northbound, we've got some delays pretty much right out of the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. Southbound's pretty quiet, looking pretty good all the way into the downtown area. And westbound 94, just watch out for some delays right through the stadium interchange itself. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, light rain later on, a low of 44. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers likely ending early in the afternoon, a high of 52 at the lake, 57 inland. Tee off at Lake Lawn Resort's Majestic Oaks Golf Course. 18 holes lakeside in Delavan. Whether you're a pro or just starting, it's the perfect course. Book your tee time today at lakelawnresort.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
The I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers-Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th and spend Friday and Saturday night under the lights and help the Crew defend American Family Field and the National League Central Crown.
That's your ball game!
Then pack the park for Sunday matinee baseball at the May 4th series finale and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day bundle. Get your tickets now at Brewers.com.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
There's a winning magic powering up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This April, prepare for an exciting quest to $300,000 in the Enchanted Spin Slot Tournament. Just conjure your rewards card and play slots to earn drawing entries. Each Thursday, 60 winners will compete for thousands in cash and prizes. Let your journey begin with Enchanted Spins, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
She told me, honey, pick your poison, mine's a lemon and gin with a hit. I mix some pretty boys and over the head.
You heard the big voice guy. It is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, but Bradley Nortman is here with me. Here, this is Kyle Bruston Nortman, no Bruss, as we are live from Green Bay, live from Lambeau Field, live from the NFL Draft, as Matt LaFleur has joined us here at the Tundra Trio in Lambeau as he is speaking with Wildy and Towson, having a great conversation.
Yeah, Kyle, not to interrupt, but just taking a moment now that so many people have started to pile in, right? I mean, we are right here at the gates, walking right into Lambeau Field. And I'm just taking a moment and thinking about, this is Super Bowl type stuff here. This is you think about all the national media and personality here. I mean, we just happen to be in the shadow of Lambeau Field. The NFL Draft is about 100 yards away from us in the biggest man-made stage you've ever seen. Matt LaFleur is 30 yards in front of me with Tucker Kraft in the audience, and a bunch of the ESPN morning show on Sportsmanlike here. We're going to have Evan Cohen on in about 10 minutes. It's just spectacular that Wisconsin is under the spotlight like this, and that Lambeau Field and the Green Bay Packers get highlighted. And you always get they're a relevant franchise, right? The Green Bay Packers are more than a relevant franchise, but this is just different. It just is really different, and just taking a moment to appreciate it is it's pretty stunning and pretty surreal.
800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talk to Text line, where Liz is more. And on the other side, we're just having a conversation talking about the Green Bay Packers and drafting consistently on the defensive side of the football, and asking, does that give Jordan Love enough to succeed? And looking at the Carbless Talking text line, Aaron wasn't pressured at the beginning of his career. The man had Pro Bowl wide receivers. Goop needs to stack the deck around Love, and that's something that plays into exactly what we were talking about, the fact that we need to get him more. Somebody texted in as well. Nick said Pickens. Simply Pickens. And when they say Pickens, they're talking about George Pickens, who is the wide receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers as well.
Kyle, can I interrupt you? I'm looking at the crowd, and there is a grown man on another grown man's shoulders trying to get a peek of Matt LaFleur. He's probably 15 yards behind him. I mean, things like this only happen at the NFL Draft, and they only happen in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And might I say, the man that's on the shoulders is about 70 years old.
Yeah.
Well, stay stout, young man who's holding him up. Don't let him fall.
Yeah, no, I don't want.
Wow, what's happening?
I don't think I want another grown man on my shoulders.
No,
not at all. That seems very awkward.
Have you ever had a grown man on your shoulders?
Not that I can recall. No,
I've had plenty of, not plenty. I've held up a lady once or twice to make sure she gets a. You ever done that at a concert? You ever done that at a concert where you put her on?
Brad Boski, I see you, Brad. Baby, get on my shoulders. If you want to see, come here. I'm tall.
Luckily, Lexi's just a little thing that I can hoist up there with no problem.
Just go ahead, hoist up there again on the Carbless Talking text line at 800-990-3776, where Liz is more. Ben said, listen, Packers should lean defense early in the draft to support Jordan Love. That's an interesting thought, right? Keep gains close while he develops. Not going to win if defense can't rush to keep QB. Offense already has a solid young talent, but if the top offensive lineman or playmaker falls, they shouldn't pass that up. So that's just thoughts there from Ben, thinking about maybe you should win by continuing to try to build up the defense so your offense doesn't have to win you all the games.
Interesting. As long as you're okay with offense looking a little bit muddied up and maybe never reaching the potential that you think, it's a good strategy for winning games. There's no doubt about it. And listen, if Goody goes defensive heavy and the Packers consistently have a top defense, I'm all for it. My problem is Goody especially has not had a lot of success in drafting these first-round guys. If this defensive line would just play up to a fraction of what their expectations are. 4 first-round draft picks, a couple of second contracts, and a third contract in Kenny Clark. They should be one of the best D-lines in the NFL.
That would be the expectation, which kind of leads me to talking about betting odds, because you guys threw me off earlier during the show about these betting odds, and I had to gather some of my thoughts.
Yeah.
And so from what y'all told me, Potawatomi Sportsbook here in Milwaukee, and y'all know me, I'm not very good at sports betting at the moment. My streak right now is 0-7, and the Bucks got me looking even worse right now. But, Brad, those betting odds said offensive line is high as receiver?
Yeah, let me remind you. So right now we've got defensive line / edge is plus 125. It's a pretty big favorite. Next, kind of a close second is cornerback at 185, plus 185. Now next is offensive line and wide receiver tied at plus 350. So a decent tied for third. But what's interesting is offensive line was plus 700, a distant fourth, but 2 days ago. Something has shifted in the betting odds to make linemen jump up to tied with wide receiver for potential for first-round draft pick. Now, I don't know if the betting community knows something that we don't know, but boy, oh boy, Kyle, if they come up, I will not complain, generally speaking, about any defensive line, cornerback, or wide receiver drafted, unless it's like all potential.
No, I mean,
but an offensive line,
I won't say that, yeah.
But offensive line, now that when you've got such needs, that's hard to stomach.
See, that's the thing that concerns me is that when you're talking about drafting on the offensive line, that is the Green Bay Packers don't struggle at that point. I've talked about it over and over. I know Ben and Strofe, they yelled about it, and Mark Tauscher, he joined us. He knows a lot. He played offensive line, so he knows a lot about the trenches. But when I think about it, like I just brought up Mark Tauscher, he was drafted in the 7th round. Like, there's some Brian Bulagas, but we went through the list of first-round picks, and a lot of these first-round picks that we've even drafted in the first round on the offensive line haven't always worked out. And so the Green Bay Packers are exceptionally do a great job at drafting offensive linemen outside of the first round and developing them. I just don't feel like you need to go back-to-back years drafting them. And we have a big draft today, right? Like, I understand it's just the NFL draft. It should be business as usual for the Green Bay Packers. But you know how I know it's not business as usual for the Green Bay Packers, Brad?
How's that?
It's because it's draft day. The NFL draft is about 3.5 hours away from starting. The head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur, is not in the draft room. He's not in that war room you talked about here, Brad, out. He's not looking at the board. He's not watching film on guys they could draft. They're not having their last preparatory meeting. No, Matt LaFleur is here talking. And so I say that to say not because the Packers aren't prepared. I'm saying it because it is different. It is different. It is different because the draft is here in Green Bay. So it just absolutely means more. So when I see betting odds talking about offensive lineman being as even as a position of wide receiver, a position of need versus a position of luxury where you draft a guy, you can just sit and wait for him, that just doesn't make any sense to me. The fact that Potter would even think that makes me concerned and worried that the Packers could actually draft an offensive lineman. And so when I look at this, listen, there's way too much buzz around Green Bay for us not to hit this pick. Goody, this is an opportunity not to fail the community. People want to cheer. People want to feel the energy. People want to see a guy walk across that stage who could absolutely be an impact guy. I want Goody to draft somebody who he can truly envision to be an impact player day one. I want Goody to close his eyes and be able to say, you know what, I can see him making plays, making fans smile, making fans cheer, not 2 years from now, but absolutely in the next 6 months. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure here, right? I mean, I know that Mark Murphy and Brian Gutekunst, they said, look, the fact that it's in Green Bay is not a big deal. The fact that it's here doesn't change our process. I'm sorry, but now that I'm here, it does feel different.
It's absolutely. Look at all these Packers fans
and applaud to the University of Wisconsin, or not University of Wisconsin, to the folks of Wisconsin, because I am seeing, usually when it's a draft, it's a collage of jerseys, right? I mean, when it's in Detroit or Philadelphia or Chicago or Kansas City, I mean, you're seeing maybe half of that city's team, but then the other half is a collage of jerseys. Kyle, I'm seeing 10-1 is the Packer fans to everybody else. It is 90 to 95% Packer fans.
No, this is legitimately a Packer game right now. I saw some of my friends that I knew and his family, and they hear like it's a regular Sunday or a Thursday night or Monday night football game right now. That is what it is. The fans are absolutely turning out, and so that's why the Packers need to make sure that they deliver. You got to deliver somebody to make this the most memorable moment that you can possibly have. Have it be a guy that we can look back 5 years ago, and when they watch the film of him getting drafted, you see a whole bunch of green and gold go. You see a whole bunch of cheeseheads. You see a whole bunch of shareholders like myself celebrating the draft pick and us being able to cheer the guy on the football field. This is bigger than just any old draft, like you said. This is the NFL draft in your backyard. Legitimately, their backyard
Literally.
of Lambeau Field.
And I'll say, how cool would it be if Brian Gutekunst had such a good draft that you could trace back a Super Bowl win to this draft, where you look at it and say, okay, the Packers have 8 picks. Let's say they keep all 8. If 5 out of the 8 picks you look at and you're like, that dude's a stud, that guy's a starter, this guy makes big plays, and you can trace it back to Lambeau Field and making the picks here, if you already got most of the ingredients, but you add the spices and the little extra that makes any meal great. If that is the thing that pushes this team over the edge for a Super Bowl, it would just be beautiful and poetic if this draft, is the final impetus to create a complete football team.
Yeah, that would be special. I know you guys asked me a question earlier this week, I believe it was, would I prefer, the Packers cook outside the first round and get basically starters versus the Packers actually getting a stud in the first round? The Packers need a stud, man. They need a stud. So I understand we talk about cooking outside the first round, but Brad, man, listen. The Packers lack all pros on the roster.
Yeah, they do.
Like up and down the roster,
They do.
There's not enough all pros. When Brian Bulaga was talking about his roster and the team he played on for a Super Bowl, there were studs all the way around. Beyond all pro, there were MVPs, future Hall of Famers on that roster, and that's what the Green Bay Packers need to be drafting for. And they need to draft some guys who have production, and they need to draft some guys that have an opportunity to go out here and be impactful on day one.
Yeah.
800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talking text line. List is more. You can watch and stream us live on ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and ESPN Madison on YouTube, as well as we are doing the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Day Spectacular. But before we go, Brad, tell us about some of your friends.
Yeah, you talked about the Carbless Talking text line. Here at the Tundra Trio for our Draft Day Extravaganza, we have on display Carbless. There's a tasting station. There's Carbless all over. You know when the stroke of 5 hits, I'm going to go over and crack open a Carbless. They've already flavors that I saw. I saw pineapple. I saw black raspberry. I saw cranberry. I saw amazing flavors. And the new flavors of Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, grapefruit, and the mango vodka cocktail 4-pack is just out of this world. I'm going to be enjoying them here in the NFL draft when the show is over. And if you haven't discovered why List is more, now is the time. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. Low carbonation, but always high on flavor. And guys, it is the ready-to-drink cocktail of Wisconsin because it's made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. It satisfies that cocktail craving, so be like me and enjoy a Carbless.
When we come back, we will be joined by Evan Cohen of In Sports.
Sure, it's Alex Strofe.
You guys ready for Evan Cohen?
Yes.
Is he not ready?
Is he ready for us?
He'll be ready momentarily after we take a commercial break. But also, I just wanted to check in because the last few times he's come on our show, it has not ended well. And I just want to make sure you guys are mentally prepared for this.
It's not us. It's Ben.
I love Evan. But, Ben has the guy that has the mental block with Evan.
Exactly. Ain't nobody scared of another grown man.
I scheduled Evan for 3:30 today, not knowing Ben wouldn't be here.
It really is a shame.
Yeah.
Where is Ben? Now, honestly,
I don't know. He didn't tell me.
Oh, that's right. He had to leave.
He told me he had something he had to take care of with some folks. But I think he's elongating it because he said he was going to leave at 3, and he thinks I might be back for Evan Cohen. He left at 2:30, and it's 3:30.
Yeah,
he's avoiding it.
An hour.
He's avoiding it.
He's likely avoiding bullying. He is avoiding rudeness. And by the way, Greg Scalzo would have been scheduled to appear at this time this week.
Oh.
Greg's got some other responsibilities, obviously.
Of course.
So I booked Evan Cohen in Greg Scalzo's place thinking that could be fun for Ben, but obviously.
Ben's ducking smoke.
He's ducking smoke. So anyway, you guys are going to get the smoke.
No, we're not ducking smoke from Evan Cohen. Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike that you hear on ESPN Wisconsin. He'll share his best pick, which is brought to you by Lakeland University, where your best pick is your future. Customize your degree on your terms. Learn more at lakeland.edu/draft. He'll give us his best pick. But coming up on the other side, ESPN Wisconsin and ESPN National Radio host Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike right here on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular.
You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Week, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Starting off off with some delays out there for sure. First of all, we've got northbound 41 really backed up from Blue Mound Road pretty much all the way up to Capitol Drive. This is some road work that's going on through there. A couple of broken down vehicles along the way, but they're out of traffic, so heads up with that. Southbound, we got backups just south of Main Street all the way down to Silver Spring. On 43, heading northbound, we've got some delays pretty much right out of the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. Southbound's pretty quiet, looking pretty good all the way into the downtown area. And westbound 94, just watch out for some delays right through the stadium interchange itself. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, light rain later on, a low of 44. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers likely ending early in the afternoon, a high of 52 at the lake, 57 inland. Tee off at Lake Lawn Resort's Majestic Oaks Golf Course. 18 holes lakeside in Delavan. Whether you're a pro or just starting, it's the perfect course. Book your tee time today at lakelawnresort.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In-person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at 90s 2K Cafe Milwaukee, Champs Lake Geneva, McGillicuddy's Milwaukee, Kelly's Bleachers Wind Lake, and Magoo's on the Mound Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 2-liter bottle selected varieties Super Chill Soda, 2 for $3. 4-count double roll selected varieties Bounty Towels, $7.99. 6-pack 0.5-liter bottle selected varieties Splash Blast Water, 2 for $6. 40 to 48-ounce selected varieties Starbucks Iced Coffee, $5.49.
Let's get some strawberries.
Attention shoppers. Safe.
Okay. Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
You're listening to the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's probably sad, come on over tonight. Told me you don't know your feelings.
It is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular right here on ESPN Wisconsin. Watch and stream us live on ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and ESPN Madison on YouTube. And always, you can talk and text in, call in, 800-990-3776 on the Carbless talk and text line where list is more. And I'm excited to be joined by the one and the only Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Evan, does it feel weird because we're missing somebody here today?
We are? I didn't even notice.
Oh, you didn't notice?
No, I didn't notice.
I'm sure he knows you.
What a disgrace.
Unbelievable, right?
I mean, Kyle, Brad, this is disgraceful. The draft, because the draft happens a lot in the state of Wisconsin. What, 1939, 1940, the last time it happened in Milwaukee?
1939. It took Ben, 5 times to be able to get it wrong until he finally got it right?
It was unbelievable. Finally ingrained, but 5 times wrong on air, but finally gets the date right. But 1939.
So 1939 in Milwaukee. And what Green Bay and the state of Wisconsin, Travel Wisconsin, Pick Wisconsin, that we've been tied in with, have done the tourism and everybody, they've done such an unbelievable job to make Wisconsin and Green Bay, the state, your state, that both of you are from, played against each other in high school football. I know you two.
Yeah.
Good memories, right, Kyle?
Yeah, no. It was the last time I was playing with my friends.
Yeah, well.
Wow. Doesn't still hurt him today.
Yes.
Anyway, this is the biggest day of sports and sports talk and radio and YouTube and everything that we do of the year. For someone to not do a full show today, there has to be a, God forbid, emergency, which we wish upon no one. So I really hope Ben is okay, because something must be horribly wrong.
Well, you know what this is like? You know, if you go to a party and you start early on, introducing your excuse to leave, starting even last night, Ben texted our group and said, hey, guys, I mean, all of our whole group, he said, you know what? We're going to have to be fluid. I'm going to have to take care of some partners. I'm going to be in and out. I appreciate you guys. And then on the bus, on the Travel Wisconsin bus, Ben was like, Brad, you know what? 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, I'm probably going to be off the show. I hope I'm back by 3:30 for Evan Cohen. Evan, he left at 2:30. He hasn't come back. It's been an hour, more than an hour.
What a disgrace.
I agree. But, Evan, here's the big thing, though.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to get into the draft talk because, as you said, we are here live in Green Bay for the NFL draft, a historic moment here for all of Wisconsin. But I want to know this.
Yeah.
Why has Ben so afraid? What did you do to my man to make him? Every time you come, he clams up or he gets all weird about things. He forgets his own name.
Ben's an interesting guy because this is a good life lesson, not to get too deep for all of us. On the surface, what is Ben Brust? You look at him. It's a good-looking guy. A little pale, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Pale,
he needs to get some vitamin D.
Yeah, but good-looking guy. Well, what's he about? He's got a significant other that's wonderful. He's got a little baby girl that's wonderful. He's part of a team, KBN, afternoon drive on multiple radio stations and all across Wisconsin on the ESPN Wisconsin app and YouTube across the country and the world. In the state of Wisconsin. That in itself is awesome. Oh, well, what did he do before this? He freaking played college basketball for the University of Wisconsin, where I went to school, where you went to school, Brad, where you love.
I was a fan.
Right. Your cousin played there. This guy was a captain of a Final Four team. You would think everything would be perfect. But for some reason, when he sees me, who's a loser with a big platform, but a loser, he buckles up. It's a disgrace. I mean, if I were in charge, like hypothetically, of something like this, I would fire him.
Oh, wow.
Well, luckily.
I'm just saying. But
hypothetically. Cut that. Give it to Ben.
I mean,
you can't miss the draft show. Do you realize? Have you guys said who was just here? I don't know if I'm supposed to say.
We did.
Okay, I want to make sure because I know it's a private thing. Yeah, Matt LaFleur is literally was in front of us for a private event, not available for air right now. Sorry, it will be on social, right? Brian Bulaga's been running around.
He sure has been.
Mike Tannenbaum has been running around.
Yeah.
My co-host Chris Canty, running all of guys like you, Brad, that are ex-NFL players running around here. All of the who's who of sports in the state of Wisconsin, right here at the Tundra Trio. Except for Ben Brust.
Except for Ben Brust.
Can I ask you guys a question, though?
Go ahead.
Not about Ben. I don't care anymore about Ben.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys are rightfully biased in the favor of Wisconsin. How crazy is this for me as somebody who lived in Wisconsin for 5 years?
Yeah.
But didn't go to Green Bay all the time, right? I was in Madison and now recently in Milwaukee. Is this out of control wild to you guys that the draft is here and how many people are in and about here in Green Bay?
To be honest, Brad actually got the experience to be drafted. I was just a kid who stood in the mirror and dreamed to be drafted, and now he got on this draft day suit because it's the closest I'll ever get to being drafted. Thank you. I appreciate that. But for me, it really didn't kick in. Like, I was talking to my girl yesterday, baby girl, and she was like, Kyle, you realize you're going to be, broadcasting live from the NFL draft? I said, yeah. She said, no. That's amazing. That's incredible. Yeah. And so it didn't kick into me until today as you can't sleep, like I'm actually getting drafted. You can't sleep as Ben Bruss comes sprinting in. I
bet you. So it's 3:42.
I work with Chris Canty, who played with Tom Coughlin. Coughlin time. He's late.
What is Tom
Jacksonville? You Jacksonville, yep.
And it's a fine, too. How much is the fine?
It's a max fine. It's about $10,000.
You got $10,000?
About that. Just real quick. Got your tax refund.
What was your salary?
But it could handle it for a minute.
Oh, Ben Bruss did just.
I bet you Evan. I bet you he looked at the clock and said 3:44. I bet you Evan's gone. I bet you Evan's gone, and I'm gonna miss him. Oh shucks. What do you know?
And he looked up and said, let me try to run to act like I really want to be on. But for real though, as Ben Bruss has just arrived. Look, Ben Bruss, I don't want to be here. Ben Bruss is
seriously, ignore him. Answer the question.
It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing as a guy who is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who grew up as a kid watching the NFL draft in New York, and then we saw it move around to now right here in our backyard in Wisconsin, having the NFL draft. We talked about it before. Look out there. Look to your right, Evan. All you see is green and gold because Packers fans, Wisconsin, is so excited to have this big event, the largest event in sports this weekend right here in our state in the town of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's surreal. I mean, sitting here seeing Lambeau Field, the draft stage being 100 yards to my right, I mean, it's hard to believe you're here. It's kind of a pinch-me moment. And for me personally, to have been able to experience being drafted, I was at my parents' house when I got drafted, and a long journey to now bring me back here. It really just means a lot. It means more, right? The NFL draft, it is the epicenter of not only the NFL, but sports when it comes to the springtime. And to have it here in Green Bay is just magical.
It is KBN here on ESPN Wisconsin. Kyle, Evan, and Norman.
I knew that you were hosting the show based off how you were letting them answer, not talking over them like I would.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, now let's go back to your draft experience. You were drafted in what round and what year?
6th round in 2012.
Did you think you were going to get drafted?
So I didn't, right? So
because Ben thought he was going to be a lottery pick and didn't get drafted at all. Go ahead.
So only a couple punters get drafted, right? And so the teams that were looking at me were the Jaguars, the Rams, and the Panthers. And the Panthers ended up drafting me. But all throughout the draft process, I got weekly calls from Jacksonville. They're like, Brad, you love golfing? Oh, you're going to love Jacksonville. And,
they sold you on golfing?
Yeah, exactly.
That's when you know you weren't going to be drafted by then, probably.
So then on Friday night, the Jaguars famously took a punter, 6 picks before Russell Wilson, and that was the team that I thought had the most interest in me. So Friday night, I'm discouraged. I'm like, the team that I thought had the most interest in me no longer is interested. I don't know if I'm going to be an undrafted guy now. So Saturday morning, I was a little bit uncertain. This is a long lead-up process to finally being there. You know your life's going to change. You just don't know how. But then I remember sitting on my parents' couch, my phone right on the left-hand, armrest, and it buzzes. Look at it.
So you were watching the whole thing? You didn't Joe Thomas it with the fishing or anything?
No, well, we have some family and friends over, so I was able to chat with them, hang out, but we were there basically the whole time. And there was, once we got to the end of the 5th round, started to settle in and focus on it a little bit more. But then, saw it ring, and it was kind of a life-changing moment.
You knew that area code. You saw that North Carolina.
Well, it said Charlotte, North Carolina. And what's funny is when you're drafted, you talk to the GM, and it's about, you're about 5 minutes ahead before it actually hits the bottom line. So he's saying, he's kind of buttering you up, and then he said, okay, GM, we're going to draft you. And there's like a reaction, everyone around me. Then you go to the head coach. Then you go to special teams coach. Then you go to the media, and they start firing you with questions. It's emotionally exhausting. And looking back now after having media training, it is brutal because when I was talking to
what is Alex Strofe doing?
We have a Jags jersey, He's
distracted. We're in the middle of a segment.
No, and this is good stuff from Brad.
Ben, keep it down. Alex, we're in the middle of a segment here. Can you stop? Brad is telling a great story.
So I finally get to the media. About a half hour later, emotions are high, my blood pressure is up, heart rate is firing, and I'm almost lightheaded. I'm so excited. And when I had my workout with the Panthers, it was super windy. It was super cold. It was classic Wisconsin spring. I didn't do very well. I thought I wasn't going to see the Panthers ever again. But they kept on asking me, you must have had a great workout with them, all this kind of stuff. And I said, honestly, I didn't. I kept on saying, I was so nervous. I kept on saying the word turbulent. The weather was turbulent. They said it like 4 times. I went back and listened to myself. I'm like, Brad, stop saying turbulent, you idiot.
Is there audio of your first ever media drafted call?
I'm sure it's somewhere deep in the
Maybe
Carolina
Alex Stroh
archives.
should stop worrying about who's out there and get that audio, because that would be amazing.
I sounded like an idiot. Yeah, the weather was turbulent. Oh, it was turbulent outside. And they're like, you keep on saying turbulent. I'm like, oh, Brad, stop being such an idiot.
Wow.
I love that. But I got a question for you, because you're a Patriots fan. So I don't know how you're a Patriots fan, by the way.
I'm a front runner.
Yeah, okay.
I love Belichick.
Okay.
Are you a bigger Patriot fan or Bill Belichick fan?
Belichick.
Okay, can I ask you about Bill Belichick? Or maybe you're a big ESPN guy. Bill Belichick, how does he have a 25-year-old sitting there on emails?
I'm just trying to get better for the draft.
But no,
the concept of having someone, if you're a CEO, hey, Wildy, having somebody that's of like CEO level have a personal assistant is not abnormal.
Okay.
Now, that person happens to be also his love interest.
It just seems so odd to me. It seems so odd. But I do want to talk real football with the Green Bay Packers, because we've sat here and we've gotten angry, mad, upset with Goody about his lack of drafting guys for production.
You guys don't like Goody on this show.
Listen, I like Goody.
I like him more. No, you don't. You guys are. Would you guys say that you're the most critical of Goody of any show?
100%.
Well, I will say I'm critical of him because, Evan, have you looked at the first-round picks that he's made?
So, Kyle, here's the question.
He misses a lot.
Let's put first-rounders in one category, 2nd through 7th in another category. Mm-hmm. What's the grade for all of Goody's first-rounders?
Oh, I would say he probably has a C minus.
Yeah.
C minus.
Okay, what's the grade for his 2nd through 7th?
I would say 2nd through 7th at this point now. He's probably at a B minus because his first couple of years, he has some rough years in between.
So does the B minus, because of the number of picks, outweigh the C minus because of the lack of picks?
It doesn't, because in the first round, when you're drafting for potential, you at some point need to have guys take off. When I look at a Jair Alexander, that's what I want him to replicate. Jair, he might have injury issues, but when Jair is healthy, when Jair is locked in and he's playing, Jair can be a difference maker on the football field.
Which is interesting that he's your example, because he may be removed from the team this weekend.
But that's my problem.
Traded.
You haven't replaced the Jair Alexander, but you also haven't replicated that level of talent in drafting. And
but what about just drafting Jordan Love and having the guts to do it, and how much that has
can only carry
kind of worked out so far?
That happened in 2020.
I have a lot to add. Do I have
did you guys hear something? Something's in my ear. I don't know.
Must be someone in the crowd
back there. I hear somebody else in my ear.
But I think the
Casper the ghost over there.
The success in rounds 2.
Get the man some vitamin D, Evan said.
The success in rounds 2 through 7 is resulting.
Brad is loving the fact that Ben can't talk.
This is the most silent Ben has ever been. Ben is here on, I guess it's KEN.
It's not because of Evan.
It's Ken.
It's because
the Ken show.
It's because I care about Ken so much that I want you guys to have your voices heard.
Do you believe? Here's a good question for Ben. Do you believe Ken is better than KBN?
No, you've asked the bad follow-ups.
Oh, wow. Look at him trying to bite back.
All right, a little guts there from Ben. Good job. All right, Brad, what were you going to say? And then we'll maybe let Ben talk.
I was going to say he has struck on value in rounds 2 through 7, right? Because you wouldn't expect so many starters to come from that late in the draft pick. But most of those guys are B players, right? It's quality starters.
Which is a good thing if you're a 4th rounder, right?
For sure. Yeah. And that's what you're looking for. But right. I think the Packers lack that all-pro guy. So let me ask you, in this draft, if the Packers could have only one of these two things, one all-pro player or 3 classic Goody B starters, what do you think would help them?
Okay, this is interesting. I'm going to answer your question with a question. Do you believe they have a franchise quarterback?
Yes.
Do you believe they have a franchise quarterback?
100%.
Ben, right? That's your. Do you believe they have a franchise quarterback?
Yes, and you're going to lead us to then you take the 3 B players.
You have to. You have to. You take the 3 starters.
No, the
because you're trying to fill out a full team.
Here's why Evan's right, though.
No, here we go.
You haven't been saying this all week.
But no, what I've been
opinion because I got here.
because Evan got here, blah, blah, blah.
my
What I've been
gosh.
preaching is at the end of the day, if you have the 3B players, we've spent more time in the last 8 years this offseason talking about everyone outside of the quarterback because the quarterback isn't a Hall of Fame quarterback. And if he is a true franchise quarterback, a $55 million quarterback that plays to his contract, we're not worried as much about filling these holes because if you do fill the holes with 3B players, if he's good enough, he'll elevate them. But because he's not Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, we are worried right now about the 23rd pick more than ever.
I agree with Ben as much as it pains me to say.
I'm telling you, we talked about this earlier here on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular.
That's right.
And we talked about
What
it
are you
earlier.
looking around for?
Because
Where's the answer to that question?
I'm the answer.
No,
I know. I'm the
threw
lead
around
guy.
extravaganza and just all sorts of superlatives.
The ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular. This is the problem. Yeah, that makes sense. B guys. Yeah, you draft B guys like Edrin Cooper right now. He's a B guy. He may turn into something special. Evan Williams, he's a B guy, a safety that you drafted. He can turn into something special.
Evan Cohen, B guy.
To Evan Cohen, sure, according to Ben Bruss, a B guy. But more importantly, here's the thing. Tucker Kraft, he's a B guy. Wide receivers, do we have B guys? Because
I think Jaden Reed's a B guy.
Okay, Jaden Reed. That's absolutely.
What about
it.
Wildy? Let's get Wildy in the mix. He loves coming out with Ben. Wildy, if you could only be interviewed by me or Ben, who would it be? Wow, that is a big shot at Ben.
You think I'm shocked by that answer?
Do we have prime time? Do we have another mic? I want to do a post-game Wildy LaFleur interview right now. Get over here, Wildy.
Well, I've added no value to this segment, so take my headset, Jason.
Yeah, actually, it would be more valuable.
4:15 what? What's 4? Jason's giving us the 4:15.
He's supposed to come on 4:15.
He's supposed to do a different hit, but
My segment will be at 4:15.
Okay.
But I've been
this is a
invited
different-
now.
No, we changed
This is
the
a
name of the
different
show.
show.
It's
a different show.
KEN.
You'll be on KBN at 4:15. This is KEN.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Yeah. All right, joined by Jason Wildy, ESPN Wisconsin. Of course, Wildy and Tausch, 9 a.m. to noon here on ESPN Wisconsin. How was LaFleur?
He was good.
There's no way he cuts his own hair. That's a lie. I've never seen him in person that close up.
No, he's way too.
It's a really nice face.
Didn't he say he cut his own hair, or is that made up?
No, he. I steered clear of this during our session, obviously, because he told Tom Brady in some sort of like Zoom meeting before one of the games that Tom Brady called that he spends $100 a week
on his hair.
On his
overall
appearance.
Grooming.
You would know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Real lead host would know that we need to break before we get to the 2-minute break so we can get the legal ID out.
Yeah, that's very true.
Wow.
That's very true.
Wow, Kyle, what a shot at you.
Oh, man.
You know what? Jason Wildy, everybody.
It is Jason
Wildy.
This is ESPN Wisconsin Draft
We taught
Spectacular.
Jason Wildy on grooming. That's what we got.
Listen, we'll have more coming up on the other side. Keep it like you're listening to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular. We have been joined by Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. But again, this is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular right on ESPN Wisconsin.
We're back after this on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance.
Oh, can't show you in there.
Why not?
That's the bathroom. We need a new shower bad.
Think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin? Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Luxstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contests.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in Sport 30-2025.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
Nestled along the shores of Lake Michigan, the Knickerbocker Hotel offers a timeless escape in the heart of Milwaukee. Immerse yourself in the rich history of this iconic landmark where charm meets modern luxury. Picture yourself enjoying breathtaking lake views, luxurious rooms, and dining at one of the finest restaurants in the city. Whether you're visiting for a weekend getaway or a special occasion, the Knickerbocker promises an unforgettable experience. Your perfect stay awaits at the Knickerbocker Hotel. For more information and to book your next stay, visit knickerbockeronthelake.com.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
The Crew gets their second series win in a row after taking 2 of 3 from the Athletics in Milwaukee over the weekend, including a 14-1 drubbing on Sunday in the series finale. Manager Pat Murphy
put the ball in play. We took our walks when we had to. We only had one extra base hit until Hoskins went deep. But, the first 2 innings, we just put the ball in play and stole bases and did the things we had to do that you could take advantage of.
A 4-game series is on the horizon for the Crew in the Bay Area this week as they take on old friend Willie Adames and the San Francisco Giants.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
There's a winning magic powering up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This April, prepare for an exciting quest to $300,000 in the Enchanted Spin Slot Tournament. Just conjure your rewards card and play slots to earn drawing entries. Each Thursday, 60 winners will compete for thousands in cash and prizes. Let your journey begin with Enchanted Spins, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
You're listening to the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It feels like a Screamin' Sicilian Friday, but it's not. But I'll still tell you about Palermo's Pizza because it's absolutely amazing and delicious. And make sure you stop in to Piggly Wiggly from now till the 29th. They got Screamin' Sicilian Originals, and they're on sale for $4.99. OG Screamin's for $4.99. Stock up on all your faves and taste what all the screamin' is about. Ben Bruss, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman here with you. KBN is back. I thought Kyle, Evan, and Nortman was a little overrated. I felt like the middle portion, Evan was doing self-serving content and not serving KBN Nation.
Ben, I love you, but it's very interesting. Ben didn't say none of this when Evan was here. He had every opportunity.
What are you talking about? I literally punched back at him. I said he's a B player. I said he had bad follow-ups. I was swinging back. I'm done with this whole I'm bigger and better than you. I'm on ESPN2 and ESPNU and SiriusXM Channel 80.
Well, you're going to have to well, first of all, I was proud of you. Proud of you for standing up to Evan. You're going to have to rewind and listen because he was flattering Ben with compliments.
He was.
It was crazy. I was like, where's he going with this? But he said, he's this, he's that. You're going to have to go back for your self-confidence, get a little
No. I feel like I'm being set up. I feel like I'm being set up to go listen to him rip me.
No. I'm telling you, KBN Nation, you can hold us accountable. He was very, very, very complimentary to you.
Gosh, he's so good at being such a jerk to somebody's face.
Yeah, but there is one big caveat. There's one that might hurt your heart.
Oh, no.
Should we tell you?
Just tell me.
He said if he was in charge of things like this, he'd fire you for missing this show on the biggest day of the year.
Oh, no, that doesn't hurt me. I completely I understand that from Evan.
All right.
That is actually what I expect from Evan.
Okay. Oh, okay. But
Yeah,
you're not going to get fired. Because he can't get us fired.
No, he can.
Yeah.
I know that.
That's why I was like,
I just pray that
that paycheck goes through.
I just pray that the reason why I left might be good enough to keep me alive here at the company.
Yeah, you're not going into that room where can't nobody see you.
That's the crying room. No, that's not the crying room. We have a different crying room. That's a different room. We ain't gonna talk about that room.
Two crying rooms.
All right, so it's 4:02. We're gonna take a quick two short minute here.
Yes.
And I got to get the bedazzled Kyle Wallace 414 hour at 4.
Oh yes.
It's Kyle Bruston-Ortman. It is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, Extravaganza, Phenomenon, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it that. We have 1 hour to let people feel the vibes, the energy.
Yes.
Kyle, you're right. What I love about this is I see so little other jerseys.
Yeah. It's stunning.
Wisconsin has showed out for the state.
We showing up. We show out.
And anyone who is listening not from Wisconsin, you're a loss. Back in 2 minutes.
We are seeing delays right now. Northbound 43 coming over the high-rise bridge and all the way up to Keefe. On the southbound side of 43, we've got some backups. 2 right lanes are blocked with some debris just south of Good Hope Road. So heads up with that. And then we've got some more delays then from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette to the KK River. Westbound 94 slowing down from 25th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. And then on northbound 41, watch for backups from Blue Mound Road all the way up past Capitol Drive, almost to Silver Spring. Southbound slowing down from Highway 145 all the way down past Appleton Avenue, almost to Silver Spring. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, mostly cloudy, light rain later on, a low of 44. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers likely ending early in the afternoon, a high of 52 at the lake, 57 inland. Access believes every home and business should be accessible to everyone. Independence should never be out of reach. Visit allaboutaccess.com to learn more. Access, removing barriers, advancing independence. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Hey friends, celebrate draft week with the first round flavor of El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. Break out the Bandito Thursday pre-draft tailgate at 880 Stadium Drive and then head to Black Saddle at 7 p.m. for the first round watch party. Friday, the criminally smooth picks keep rolling with drink specials at Cock and Bull and Prohibition Spirits Cigar Lounge for rounds 2 and 3. Stock up for all your draft days with the award-winning all-natural Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. Break out the Bandito today at your local Hy-Vee and Woodman's locations. Learn more at elbanditoyankee.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston-Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
In the 2025 NFL Draft, the NFL selects Green Bay, Wisconsin.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance.
Goody has to start figuring out his first-round draft picks.
And I blame Goody for the fact that we're in the position that we are now because he did not do enough to build the offense that could be primed and ready for Jordan Love to get the keys and rev it.
This is the most important offseason Goody's going to have. How are they going to thread the needle?
Now broadcasting live from outside the shadow of Lambeau Field, here's Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, and Brad Nortman.
Kyle Bruston-Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Got a great activation going on here at the Tundra Trio, the Pit Boss Grill Off. You got Mark Tauscher, you got Tucker Kraft, and you got Brian Balaga. That is, I don't know if it's fourth, but those are the 3 I see.
Oh.
You can talk.
Well, I want to let you finish because...
Well, I mean, it is important. I mean, you can get your 4 hour off, but let's take a quick vote. Tausch, Kraft, or Balaga on the grill off?
I like Tausch's confidence. When he joined us earlier in the week, he thought no problem he was going to win. He likes his chance.
Yeah, I'm wrong. I like Brian Bulaga, but I'm wrong with the home team with Mark Tausch. Let's go, Tausch. Old school, baby. Old school.
Tausch is easy money for this one. Yeah. Tausch is easy money.
He's already operating with confidence, taking over the table. I'll take this. I'll take that. Brian Bulaga looks like he's sort of lagging, and Tucker Kraft is still just standing there looking around.
Tucker Kraft is a dude.
Dude, he is a dude. I like that jacket he's got on.
All right, what is it, Kyle? Because I mean, do you want Chris?
No, we don't have to do it. But the 414 hour at 4, it didn't have the same.
But it's not the 414 hour at 4. We're all across all markets
That's
still.
very true. This is the Wisconsin.
You know
hour
what?
at 4.
Being on in Madison and Beaver Dam,
Wisconsin.
This is the extravaganza. This is the NFL draft.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin.
It's the NFL draft extravaganza on ESPN Wisconsin.
Oh God, that was rough. That was rough.
It's draft day, baby. Let's go.
It is draft day, so I'll let it pass.
800-990-3776. I'm legitimately scared to open up the Carbless Talk and text line because I don't know what Evan Cohen said and how people are reacting to what he said.
Hashtag fire Bruss. So
Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Start the movement.
There it is. The movement has begun. But that being said, this is we're 3 hours away, boys. Because right about now would be 7:10 in 3 hours.
Yep.
And you're going to get the draft sound. Dun, 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 dun. And did you guys learn anything from Evan Cohen, or did you have from over-under? Because I heard the over-under from the show today had something to do with the fact that the top 10 it's the last 10 offensive draft picks
in the first round.
In the first round by the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
And it goes all the way back to when, Brad?
1994.
Yeah, 10 and 30 years. That's
and
crazy.
the names on this list, of course, it's Love and Rodgers. It's Brian Bulaga, who's engaging in this grill off right in front of us. Derek Sherrod, is that right?
That is Derek Sherrod.
But I want you to think, even just for a second here,
Walker.
How many has Goody done?
Just Jordan Love.
Mm-hmm.
Just Jordan Love.
No, Jordan Love and Jordan Morgan.
Jordan Morgan.
Offensive lineman.
So my point is, are we stupid to even continue to think about a wide receiver?
But doesn't the roster needs evolve, right? The roster
Goody,
needs evolve.
as you guys talked with Evan Cohen, if they hit a B player in the wide receiver room in the second round of the draft, they add another player, and if Jordan Love is who you think it is, then this player can also elevate the team with Jordan Love if he has a year that you expect.
The problem is listen.
I'm just bringing up scenarios. I'm not trying to do let's yell at each other about the wide receiver thing. I'm doing you know what, if they hit on another Jaden Reed type player and maybe he has a better second year than Jaden Reed did and takes the bigger jump that we expected Jaden Reed to make last year. Maybe Jaden Reed takes that jump this year.
No. Listen, I get it. I understand the Green Bay Packers have been an organization that have been able to find gems at multiple positions, right? They've been able to find gems outside of the first round to succeed. The wide receivers that we listed and talked about that were all great for the Green Bay Packers, specifically during the era of Aaron Rodgers, none of them were drafted in the first round. None of them were. And so I understand, we had grown accustomed to being able to find talent outside the first round, but the issue is this. The issue is that Goody has not been able to replicate what his predecessor did when it came to drafting wide receivers outside the first round. He has failed at that, and that's why I say he failed Jordan Love. And so, yes, I would love for us to find somebody in the second round, third round as a wide receiver, but Goody has not been able to get it right, so he does not get the benefit of the doubt of me saying, well, let's try to draft a guy. He can find a B player. He's found one B receiver. And Romeo Dobbs, big fan of, but Romeo Dobbs is teetering. Is he a B? Right, you got to be more consistent. Right,
consistency is the big key.
Christian Watson has not been healthy. That has kept him from being a B player.
Fair or unfair, he does not get the B grade because of the inability to stay on the field.
In year 2, there's a guy on stage right now, Tucker Kraft, who's here at the ESPN Wisconsin Spectacular. He, to me, probably was the best receiver on the team, or with the most consistent pass catcher on the team, and it was not Jaden Reed.
And he wasn't even as big of a focal point as I think that he should have been.
Yeah, he wasn't featured. I think people got caught on to, okay, this guy is legit. But if there's probably 2 B pass catchers, it's Tucker Kraft and it's Jaden Reed. Now, I'm more confident in Tucker Kraft becoming the A pass catcher than Jaden Reed, but it still leaves a void on this team where I don't know if you can walk into this and say, okay, we're good to go with who we have. And those guys that we mentioned, those great receivers over the course of the year, man, by year 3, we saw it. We're like, dude, this guy is different. He is super good. So we've already seen Dobbs and Watson. We can evaluate them. But with Wicks and Reed, there is no more time to lose. If they want to be wide receiver 1, they need to be that yesterday.
Well, yeah, you're waiting. With Wicks and Reed, especially, these are guys that did not take the necessary second step that you needed them to take in year 2. And so even a guy like we talked about Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams took a little bit of time to get it going. He did. He took a little time to get it going, but he took off eventually.
And he also had different circumstances.
He had different circumstances, which allowed for him to take that time to get it going. So, again, the Green Bay Packers need to do something offensively, and they need to do it early.
It was actually a really good moment as my fiance, obviously out of town, myself out of town. My fiance's, my future mother-in-law is helping out at home. And I showed her the hidden screens. And even she was playing with them like me. She was like, this is amazing. And that's what Gina Della can provide for you. An unbelievable product. Warranties to back it up. Home value that goes up the roof. Then you have the energy efficiency. You save money on energy bills. 855-PELLET-WI. Get the free consultation. Sit down with Gina, Joe, the entire team, and you will love everything that Gina and their team will provide for you. Could be a door, could be windows, whatever you're looking for. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin will have it to you. Scheduled to appear. Jason Wilde of Wilde & Tausch joins us next.
We're back after this on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance.
We are seeing delays right now. Northbound 43 coming over the high-rise bridge and all the way up to Keefe. On the southbound side of 43, we've got some backups. 2 right lanes are blocked with some debris just south of Good Hope Road. So heads up with that. And then we've got some more delays then from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette to the KK River. Westbound 94 slowing down from 25th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. And then on northbound 41, watch for backups from Blue Mound Road all the way up past Capitol Drive, almost to Silver Spring. Southbound slowing down from Highway 145 all the way down past Appleton Avenue, almost to Silver Spring. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, mostly cloudy, light rain later on, a low of 44. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers likely ending early in the afternoon, a high of 52 at the lake, 57 inland. Access believes every home and business should be accessible to everyone. Independence should never be out of reach. Visit allaboutaccess.com to learn more. Access, removing barriers, advancing independence.
Join in and be
From the
part of an
WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
People with multiple sclerosis. It takes a whole community to end this disease. This May, all over the state, witness firsthand the MS community coming to life like never before, including on Sunday, May 4th at the Summerfest grounds for Walk MS Milwaukee. Visit walkms.org today and plan to join us around Wisconsin. That's May 4th at the Summerfest grounds.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at 3rd Street Market Hall, Milwaukee, Broad Stop Kenosha, Bullwinkle's Brookfield, Curly's Waterfront Pewaukee, and the new Fashion Milwaukee. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like
free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SAND25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SAND25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SAND25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. The Wolf of Wall Street was on the other day when I was flipping through channel. Great family film.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
I'm a naturally inquisitive person.
Holding everybody accountable.
If you feel better about that, I'm happy to do so.
Jason Wilde is on Kyle Bruston Norton.
Kyle Bruston Nortman at 4:15 leading into the NFL draft here live in Green Bay. The buzz is palpable. You can start to feel the energy outside of our homes. Everyone heading into the NFL draft. We have Mark Tauscher versus Brian Balaga in a grill-off, courtesy of Pit Boss, and we're excited now to be joined by someone who knows them very well. It's Jason Wilde. Jason, welcome into Kyle Bruston Nortman.
That is, it's interesting because our friend Gabe Neitzel, who does play-by-play for Bucs games, has an extensive play-by-play resume, is doing play-by-play for the cook-off. And when I heard him mention that Tausch was having a flame-up and there was some burning occurring, that's when it really got my attention.
Yeah, I heard the flame up too and the burning, and some people like a charred brat. I do not.
Well, have you tasted your co-host in Mark Tauscher's food before? Because he was very confident going into this cook-off, but right now it seems like he may be struggling just a smidge.
Yeah, I love Tausch.
Uh-oh.
I
know what I love.
Kyle Wallace saying
doing well.
But
a couple things. One, he has banned his and his wife is an amazing human being. I love Sarah. I think the world of her.
Show.
And he banned her now twice from using the oven.
Oh wow!
Now again, we all have history of making mistakes, whether it's in the kitchen or elsewhere. But I think the biggest mistake is to ever ban your wife from doing anything. That is not something I'm on board with. So,
couldn't he teach her to use a timer on the phone?
Coach her up if you feel it.
He
But I
just
don't
got frustrated.
But he's not good enough to. Those who can do, those who can't coach. In his case, though, he can't coach or do.
But he's supposedly coaching all the time before he leaves
Well, he's a fine coach for the teams he coaches. But coaching up cooking, I think we're seeing he has no right to be doing that.
Yeah.
Secondly, he was trash-talking Brian Bulaga from the jump. I don't know about you, Ben. I don't know about you, Brad. Punters I know are notorious trash talkers. I'm sure you played with some trash talkers during your time and against them. I don't believe in that personally because I think all you're doing is setting yourself up for if it goes awry, you look like a real jackwagon.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I spent some time listening to Brian Balaga and Gabe Neitzel on a little chalk talk this morning, and it seems as if Tausch was Brian didn't say this, but it felt like there was a little, not bully, but he really was the real prankster, the brains behind him and Cliffy were the brains behind making life hell for some of these younger offensive linemen coming through.
Yeah, I can see that. But again, the best revenge is living well and taking the guy's job.
Hey, powerful.
What Brian did.
Powerful. Now, Jason, this is the closer we get, and we did one of our segments over-under where it was a list of the last 10 offensive players the Packers have drafted in the first round.
You had to go back pretty far, given how rarely they pick offensive players.
Just what year do you think was the?
Are we not counting offensive linemen?
No, we are counting
all offense.
All offense.
Okay, so Rodgers was 05.
Yep. He was like halfway through the list.
Right.
You're giving him away.
No. Because I know there's three offensive. There's three offensive linemen, and there's obviously one more quarterback. So I was going to say 2000 with Bubba Franks.
1994.
Oh, even farther than that.
So who are the guys between 94 and 2000 with Bubba Franks that were drafted? Do you know?
That were first-round offensive players.
Yep.
John Michaels in 96.
Yeah, I didn't know who. He sounded like a singer to me, John Michaels.
So it's one of my favorite Ron Wolf stories because one of the things that I really like about people when they're accountable, right? It's on me, my fault, right? I even asked Matt LaFleur a question when we were doing our Q&A session up there about how he always starts with, it starts with me, and I need to do a better job on this. Ron Wolf tells a great story about the 96 draft. He is on the phone with Ray Lewis.
Oh, yes.
He is convinced that he is getting Ray Lewis from Miami. Obviously becomes a Hall of Fame player. And then while he's on the phone with Ray Lewis, the Baltimore Ravens select Ray Lewis. And Ron Wolf, who is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, who traded for Brett Favre, who is the architect of the renaissance of the Green Bay Packers in the 1990s after 30 years of wandering in the wilderness, doesn't know who he's picking. And he randomly picks this offensive tackle, John Michaels from USC.
Kidding me.
Come on.
He was on his board, certainly, right? It's not like he just guessed at the name, but he certainly didn't. He panicked, and he admits that freely. Wow. And John Michaels is a wonderful human being. He's a doctor now. He's a much better doctor than he was an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Did not know
Then
his
Ross
name.
Verba was in 97.
Yep.
Which was, again, we drafted an offensive lineman last year. He's not very good. Now we got to draft another one.
Oh, yeah, I guess
right?
so, yeah.
Vonnie Holliday was in 98, who was one of my favorites. The 99 first-round pick, I am blanking on.
Don't know. 94 was another O-lineman. That was the last
Aaron
one.
Taylor from
That's it.
Aaron Taylor from Notre Dame.
Now,
Impressive, Jason.
It doesn't mean
I'm just old, Brad.
No, you're just brilliant.
It doesn't mean the Packers won't pick an offensive player, but the trends are the trends. And even when listening to Goody at the Combine, he talks about the philosophy they have drafting defensive players and something they've been doing over the last 30 years. Forget RAS score, forget whatever they use for their analytics. To me, it's not as deep of a wide receiver draft as it has been in the past.
You're
so
right.
I don't think they're going to trade up to go get a guy. And they last time they traded
I
up
want
was,
Teteroa McMillan. I will admit that.
I agree. But I think
he's good, Jason.
He's going to be gone.
Yeah,
he'll be gone.
I hope he keeps saying that he doesn't watch film.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that.
Keep dropping.
Yeah, I need people. Maybe let me not say that. I was going to say wasn't Michael Orr. Who was the offensive lineman who dropped?
Laramie Tunzel?
Yeah.
Yes. So
Gas
he needs the gas mask. Do you think that's the key?
Yeah.
Send him one right now. Put it
Track
on
him down. He's here. We know he's here.
Hey, Ted, I got something for you.
I just feel more and more like it's going to be a defensive end or
so
a
I was talking to someone yesterday, and look, first of all, every draft is unpredictable. Okay, let's not act like this one is. Oh my God, it's unpredictable, because they all are. But the conversation I was having was, you look at the way these guys are all kind of clumped together. There's kind of these 17 or 18 guys that are truly first-round picks, but there's not the kind of separation that there normally is from like 1 through 10 to 11 through 25, for example. And so there's a chance that on one team's board, Tet McMillan is 8. And if that's a team that needs a wide receiver and he's available, he's gone. But there's plenty of other teams that don't think as highly of him And so maybe the way it falls, there is a chance that he's still there.
I mean, to your point, Shedeur Sanders on Mel Kiper's board is 5. On, I believe it's Matt Miller, who joined you guys.
Jim Matt Molly, but yes.
25.
Well, I like how Wooly peeks out from his little elbow there to make sure his show gets the props.
That's
that
a
it
huge
deserves.
variance between two very
Shamar Stewart is another one.
Yes.
I was talking to LaFleur. You know, we were up on stage, and he, of course, puts me on the spot. Well, Jason, who would you pick?
Of course.
And I said Teteroa McMillan.
Did he smile?
He did. But then he said, well, what if he's gone?
Oh, they talked about him.
And then I said Shamar Stewart, and he said, okay, that's a good pick. What if he's gone? And then there was this. He took a beat, as Tausch would say, and then he said, now you know what it's like to be in the draft room. Because one of the worst things about draft day is that you sit there, especially in the Packers case, right, when you're picking 23rd and you're always picking in the 20s. You see a lot of guys that you really liked. And Matt said that he doesn't allow himself anymore to even start picturing guys in his offense because he ends up disappointed.
Smart.
He definitely should not picture anybody in the first round in his offense as a receiver, tell you that much, or a weapon.
Not unless he's going back in time to 2002.
So this is interesting because I was thinking about this. Do you think that Matt LaFleur has more influence or not? I mean, obviously he's not making a pick, but I know a lot of organizations, they have a collaboration, right? You look in different places. The head coach can talk to the GM, and they decide what they're going to do. GM makes the final decision. A lot more influence. Do you get a feel that Matt LaFleur has a little bit more influence of saying, hey, this is who I think would fit the offense, and then Goody takes that into consideration a little bit more?
Kyle, you know I love you. I love you like my black brother.
Yes,
you always make sure that I'm a little cooler than I actually am. I am not falling for this again. I've already done this once. It's ended up on social media.
Oh, did it?
I'm not. Actually, I got an apology from Alex Strofe recently because he said it was his idea to put it out there. But the last time we talked about this, and I said, yeah, I don't think there's that much of collaboration. The Twitter feed. I stand by what I said then.
Okay, well I'll say this. Well, because
real quick, I gave you a shout out here because minus 196 real fruit frozen at minus 196 Celsius, crushed and infused into vodka, perfect for draft week in Green Bay. Ultimate refreshment starts here. Please drink responsibly. As Jason Woodley joins us on Kyle Bruston.
Well, let me change up this conversation then, because I really am interested, of course, on your opinion on this. What this first-round draft history of the Green Bay Packers tells me is we're going to find our franchise quarterback, Favre, Rodgers, and we are going to then focus on the defense, thinking that quarterback is going to elevate everybody else. So we're going to actively give him less help, and we're going to focus on the defense because we think he's that good. Is that fair treatment for Jordan Love to continue?
Actively giving him less help feels a little strong, but I get your point because you're calling out the first round.
Is it fair to treat Love like how Favre and Rodgers have been treated, saying they're going to elevate everybody else? Is it fair to let that continue with Jordan Love when he's not Favre or Rodgers? At least not yet.
No, and I think it's a really, really good point. Now, the devil's advocate argument is, well, if we have a defense that – remember, they were 5th in total defense, 6th in scoring defense, and that was with a pass rush that they had to conjure up with smoke and mirrors. Mm-hmm. So if you get, again, I'm fascinated by Shamar Stewart because of his RAS score and how he's at one end of the spectrum with his RAS score at 9.99, which, again, my favorite from this week was Goody saying that he didn't know what it was and doesn't use it, and then in the very next breath saying, well, we have our own. So you know what it is. You just don't call it that.
The GAS score.
So there's that was with you. I talked about that, right? Yeah. And we came up with GAS score. So there's that end of him, and then at the other end there's 1.5 sacks each of his 3 years. He's got 4.5 career sacks in 3 years at Texas A&M.
That's unbelievable.
I just want people to understand that is so unproductive for what position that he played.
But and I was talking to somebody who works in the league last night, and their line was, if you watch him on tape, he is a freak. Now, again, is his instinct and awareness where it needs to be? Clearly not, because otherwise he'd have more production. But my point is that if you're trying to help Jordan Love win, maybe making your defense better is a indirect but still really important way to help them win.
Okay.
Now that is me playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Like I would rather have the investment at wide receiver. And look, in fairness to Goody, there has been investment, but they traded two second-round picks to go up to the top of the second round to draft Christian Watson 3 years ago.
Didn't work out.
Right? I mean, he couldn't stay healthy. Finally starting to come around last year, and then he blows out his ACL in a game he shouldn't even been playing in. They spent a second-round pick on Jaden Reed. Led them in receiving both catches and yards the last 2 years, but I think even Jaden Reed would say, well, look at what I did in the second half of last season. I wasn't productive. So they have made investments, but it's not like I know for a fact that in 2020, when the Minnesota Vikings picked Justin Jefferson, everybody and their brother was like, oh, my God, I can't believe they got him at 22.
Yeah.
And the Packers have not had that. And that was before he became what he's become. The Packers have not had that, right? They haven't had that wide receiver where you were like, wow. Like, there are very few of them, right? Randy Moss in 98, et cetera. But, man, if you invest a first-round pick, it doesn't always work, but very rarely are they just like the Johnny Manziel type draft pick where you're like, oh, my God, that was one of the most stupid mistakes I could have made as a GM.
How did you feel as Jason Wilde's here with us just for a little bit longer here on Kyle Bruston Nortman when Goody quickly responded to the question about a first-round pick needing to make an immediate impact? He said no. He gave some qualifiers about opportunity.
Not on the KBN Twitter feed. He did not give some qualifiers. I enjoyed the graphic where it said
no.
It asked the question, and the only quote is no.
You think we make those decisions about social media? We have a bigger team now. We're now learning what you maybe have some gripes about.
Oh, yeah.
My point is the way in the qualifiers that he was talking about, it depends on opportunity. There are some spots, or even if the guy is talented enough in the first round, that if you're talented enough, you can find your way onto the field.
Sure. And look, I think as much as I am a Keyshawn Nixon believer, because here's
CB1.
I think he's a starter.
Okay.
Right? And I think he's a guy who has proven at every turn. He goes from Vegas, where he really did nothing other than like coverage teams on special teams. He comes here, he's a kick returner halfway through his first season. Then he's their slot guy. Then he's an outside corner for Halfley. And look, was he perfect? No. But he was a pretty good outside corner last year. They really like Carrington Valentine. But if they take the Kentucky corner in Hairston today, hey, he should walk in and be a starter. That's fair to expect that. But if you draft a wide receiver or you go up to draft a wide receiver in the first round, it's fair to expect that guy is going to be required to have an impact right away. But there's other ways. If they draft another offensive lineman, like we just talked about with 96, 97, or 10 and 11 with Bulaga in 10 and Derek Sherrod in 11, doesn't necessarily mean he has to play right away, right?
But are you in that position? Right?
Well, what about a linebacker, or a safety? Like, let's say the best player available is the safety from South Carolina, Emin Wari. Like, he's an athletic freak. It's like the one position on their roster where I would say they have zero room for another player.
Yes. I would say pass. No
matter how trade back if you can.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. 100%.
So, I know the way he said that got a lot of attention, and I understand why. But if you look at last season, there were rookies. They weren't the first-round pick, but Edger and Cooper emerging kind of one-third of the way through the season. Evan Williams earning a starting spot as the fourth-round pick with another safety who was drafted ahead of him in Javon Bullard.
Who's not just anything that,
So don't get hung – my point is don't get hung up on – the draft pick per se, like what number if he's a first rounder. But you need rookies to contribute.
It's more likely that there's an opportunity for them to contribute right away if they're in the first round.
If they're picked at the right position and picked in the first round,
Fair
I would
enough.
agree.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I guess my biggest gripe is I just at this point.
You got a lot of gripes.
I do have I have a lot of first round gripes. I have a lot of first round gripes after the
he
first
records
round.
himself over the last 10 years of every pick. When they pick Kenny Clark,
I wanted somebody else.
Wait, we have video of his reaction?
I have video of the Kenny Clark pick. I like the Dayton Jones pick. That didn't work out.
You nailed that one.
Yeah, that did not work out for the Green Bay Packers.
Did you know?
Did
you know about Elliott Wolf's story with Kyle?
I don't know.
Listen to this.
Did I tell
Listen
you
to this one.
I'm all ears.
Oh yeah. So back when I was in college at Central Michigan University, shout out to the Brunner family. You probably know the Brunner family. Well, at least in Wisconsin football, legend Dan Brunner was overseeing the WFCA, I think it is, or whatever it is, WIA. And so, as I go to Central Michigan University, Brian Brunner's son, I'm working with him as an intern, and I say, hey, I've been interested in trying to get into football and NFL type stuff. He said, I have a connection with Elliott Wolf of the Green Bay Packers. I can get you guys connected. So I said, great. So I emailed, he got us connected via email, and I emailed Elliott Wolf, and I sent him my resume, and he said, cool, thank you, I'll get back to you. And he told me, hey, we don't have any room this year, but email me next year. So I said, okay. And so I emailed him the following year, and he also got back to me and said we don't have anything. But
could you imagine Kyle Wallace as an ascending scout underneath Elliott Wolf?
Jason, I would have been so good. I would have been so good.
Let Jason be the judge.
Jason, I got in my notes. I showed them. David Bakhtiari, that year they drafted him. They saw my notes.
You could have been the James Gladstone, who's the GM of the Jaguars, 34 years old. That could be you.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I would have been ready for that yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm looking at you right now at age, 34,
that's a
35?
great draft jacket.
Thank you, draft
Is it a first-round jacket or a third-round jacket?
No, that's like a top 5 pick.
Yeah. I told listen,
I would just say this. What I've learned about scouts, and look, they're all humans. They're not robots. But you're a little bit emotional. And they really withdraw that aspect of it. That would be your challenge.
One of the fairest things I've ever heard in my life.
That's true.
Jason, we appreciate the time. I look forward to talking a lot with you up in our live program here coming up around 6 o'clock.
I look forward to them picking a player so we could stop talking about all the guys they might pick and say, okay, here's who they picked. How do you feel about it?
Did you say who your guy is? Did he tell us that?
I'm McMillan all the way, and then I'm Shamar Stewart after that. And after that, I do like Hairston. Again, the idea of having 2 guys from Kentucky, because I like Carrington Valentine a lot. I know Strofe spent some time with him. I love his confidence. He's such a confident cat. So
you got to have that confidence if you're a 7th rounder making a true impact on a winning football.
But again, another example, 7th-round pick, 14-game starter as a rookie.
I mean, that's impressive.
So don't necessarily assume it has to be the guy that's getting the most money or the highest notoriety.
Doesn't have to be, but it could help if you land one of these.
Yeah. Not if you pick the wrong guy, it won't be.
Yeah, that's true. Jason, thank you.
Happy to do it.
That's
Take care.
Jason Wilde. Listen to him on Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon across these very stations. Want to give a shout out to the folks that are taking care of our lawns. That's Weedman. We had Weedman Wednesday yesterday. They came to the Nortman estate. They've came to Kyle's house.
They sure did.
They came to my house. Not estates. They didn't have the whole system to ride around and do the whole yard, but they took care of us. Kid and pet friendly. Golf course quality fertilizer, effective weed control, part of that winning game plan. Get a free quote by going to weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment, half off at weedman.com. I am going to say goodbye, fellas.
Oh, where are you going?
I love you all.
Where are you going?
That's for me to know and for you to find out.
Oh man. You're leaving us just like Strofe's always leaving us.
They are.
Evan Cohen looks like he's ready to join again.
You two are.
KEN coming back at you.
For real.
Really just Kyle, Nortman, and Wollersheim.
Wooly.
Got a date yet?
I saw him macking earlier today, actually.
Ooh, here?
Yeah.
Macking.
I was going
Got them business cards out?
Okay.
More next.
We're back after this on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance.
Pretty hefty delays westbound 94 leaving the Marquette all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes from the zoo to the county line, and another slowdown right past Moreland Road. So heads up with that. We've got northbound 43 backing up through the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. On the southbound side, we have the right lane blocked just about a half mile south of Good Hope Road, all because of some debris in the roadway. So that's going to be pretty much solid from just south of Brown Deer Road down past this issue. The more delays then from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette as per usual. Eastbound 94, you got some backups from 84th Street all the way to about 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, increasing clouds. A slight chance for rain later on with a low of 42. Tomorrow, showers likely, mostly cloudy with a high of 48 at the lake, 54 inland. Weather is brought to you by Avondale Roofing. Raise the roof and your standards with Avondale Roofing, your trusted partner for over 30 years. Remember, they get on top so you don't have to. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Here's Frank Wazalewski, Vice President of Access.
There are some national factory direct companies that are selling people stair lifts at twice their value. They're breaking within a year, and they can't get service. So now people are paying 3 times what they should have paid from the get-go had they just gone to a local and reputable company. Call us, give us your price from your local contractor. We're going to beat it.
Access, the leaders in ADA general contracting since 1990. Will beat any stair lift quote provided by a local company. Visit allaboutaccess.com.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Becoming a truck driver doesn't have to be complicated. At Schneider, we make it easy to get your commercial driver's license and start your new career. With our CDL apprenticeship training, you'll get paid to become a truck driver in just 5 to 6 weeks and have a Schneider driving job waiting for you when you've completed the program. Plus, during training, Schneider will provide transportation, lodging, and meals at no cost to you. Ready to get your career on the road? Learn more and apply today at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch the game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
You're listening to the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
I'll tell you what, all the draft picks here, they're looking clean. Even Kyle's looking clean in his situation. And your car can look clean with Tsunami Express Car Wash. That's right, Tsunami Express Car Wash all around the greater Milwaukee area is going to wow you with their state-of-the-art wash technology, giving you a long-lasting shine and protection. Free vacuums, matte washers, do-it-yourself detailing supplies, tire air, everything you need to make your car look awesome. It's a spring cleaning of sorts. Get all that winter grime and salt off your car. Say hello to springtime with a beautiful ride with Tsunami Express Car Wash. My car, it's 9.5 years old. Looks like it's brand new, though, whenever I drive it off the Tsunami Express Car Wash. So if you want to be able to experience that and maybe be a monthly member like me, then you need to check out Tsunami Express Car Wash. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, beat.
It is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular live from Green Bay, Wisconsin. live from the shadow of Lambeau Field and live from the NFL Draft. I am Kyle Wallace, and with me, of course, is the 6-year NFL veteran, Brad Lee Nortman. And Brad, we've been abandoned today by Alex Strofe and by our boy Ben Bruss as well, but we have held it down all day today. We've hit on a lot of different topics, but something that we have hit on a little bit earlier today was talking about expectations, right? Do you have higher expectations for the Green Bay Packers on day one or day two? And as we get closer here to closing out the show, I do want to ask you one last time. We had this discussion before. When you look at this draft, do you expect the Green Bay Packers, what do you hope them to do? Day one, do you hope for them to hit it out the ballpark, or are you more expecting day one to be business as usual, and then day two to be where the Green Bay Packers find guys that are plug and play?
You know what? I mean, Goody was pretty matter of fact when talking about the Packers system, even the way they look at defensive players and the way they look at receivers, that they've got a system that they've employed for 30 years now. And now it's a system that we know that works, and we see shadows of it with how they approach quarterback and how they approach D-line and needs. And you know what? As much as I want them to draft a wide receiver in the first round and break that streak, if I had to actually put money on it, I mean, I think they're going to stick with business as usual. They're going to go with a guy who has high potential. Hopefully it fits the scheme of what they need, cornerback, D-line, wide receiver. But within that realm, I just think they are going to go with their normal routine. And then day two, really hammer at true starters and true needs.
See, Brad, you are basically right there with KBN Nation because Kyle, Bruss, and Norman, KBN on Twitter, X, they always ask everybody today's poll, do you have higher expectations for Green Bay in day one or day two of the NFL draft? And overwhelmingly, KBN Nation voted 84% for expectations being higher for day two versus day one.
82%?
85%.
85%.
And so to me, again, that is extremely disappointing because I know Jason Wilde came on and he talked about, the draft board, but again, I'll keep saying this. The Packers just recently found the formula of success drafting, or Goody, I should say, found the formula of success drafting outside of the first round. We know the third round picking Amari Rodgers, that was trash. We know also with the tight end that they had before that has escaped me, where they drafted for
Josiah DeGuara.
Josiah DeGuara, thank you so much. Those guys didn't work out. He figured that out, but at a certain point, you got to figure out day one. We need to raise the bar for what we expect for day one because day one guys, we can talk about Carrington Valentine, but Carrington Valentine has a ceiling, right? He has an absolute ceiling. Day one, we need to find somebody that can contribute to this roster. So that's why I feel like we need to raise the bar and raise the level of expectations that we have for the Green Bay Packers drafting in round one.
What's your expectation, Kyle?
Yeah, my expectation of Green Bay Packers, dang, it's tough.
I feel like it's the heart says one thing, but the head says another.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the year that Goody switches it up. I know it might be a little bit stupid. And when I say switch it up, I'm not talking about wide receiver unless it is somebody, as Jason talked about, who fell with the Justin Jefferson. That Justin Jefferson conversation is the Green Bay Packers had their eye on Justin Jefferson. It was rumored as well that Brandon Ayuk was somebody who went right before him that they were interested in as well. But the draft bell shook out a different way than what they really wanted it to, and they had to draft somebody else at that moment, which that somebody else in that draft was Jordan Love. But when I think about what they're going to do, I do believe that Goody has a sense of urgency where he understands that this team has needs, and I do expect him to draft for need. And now what that need will be, it could be wide receiver, but I do think it'll be on the defensive side of the ball. And so I don't expect him to draft the offensive lineman. I do expect him to draft somebody on that defensive line, either a defensive tackle, a pass rusher, or a cornerback in the first round. I would love Emeka Egbuka like you did earlier. You called your shot.
That is
Lakeland
my shot.
University calling your shot. You called your shot of being Emeka Egbuka. I wish that would be the case, and I feel like he'll be on the board, but I just feel like he is too blah for
Emeka Egbuka, too blah.
I feel like he might be too blah for Goody. I'll be excited with it, but I fully do expect Goody to draft for need on the defensive side of football. So I do see him going with a defensive lineman or going with a cornerback. I do not think he'll go offensive line unless something drastic happens where a guy who was rated in the top 10 consensus by everybody ends up slipping in the draft. So I do expect him to draft for need on the defensive line or at cornerback this afternoon or this evening. 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless talk and text line where list is more. But also do know, before we go to break, I do have to tell you all about my friends at Universal Windows Direct. You already know what it is. They have their classic, right? Buy 2 windows, get 2 free with Universal Windows Direct. But then on top of that, with Universal Windows Direct, you can also get $500 off your next home improvement project. When I made the phone call at 414-410-2000 for my free in-home consultation, they came to my house, they took a look at the windows, they said, oh, we know exactly what you need, and they hooked it up. The installation was phenomenal, and every time I come home, I love coming home to a more cozier home, a more energy-efficient home that was all for a great price. So if you're looking to upgrade your home, do it right now with Universal Windows Direct. Visit them at universalwindowsdirect.com. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to UWD.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows. We will wrap up the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular with KBN and get you set up for the Draft Night Show right here on ESPN Wisconsin. Keep it locked. You're listening to Kyle Bruston Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin.
More coming up next on the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And now, unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see on the horizon, Green Bay is going to run this thing back and probably pick up an early round draft pick to add to that room.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you hope that these other guys will emerge and can add, but I don't see them making a J.R. Ewing type change.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. For a limited time, enjoy exclusive seasonal rates starting at $139. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Tailgate season, company victory party, don't let your event fall short. V Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. V Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore vprivatebar.com and leave the mixing to us.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and
That's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Don't miss a second of the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, presented by American Family Insurance. Download the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app today and stay on top of it all.
I see everybody walking their way to the NFL draft, but you know what? If you got pain in your knees or your hips, you wouldn't be able to do that. But QC Kinetics is here to help you. That's right, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. If you've got pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, they will give you a free consultation that can give you your pathway to freedom. That's right. The cutting-edge technology is going to give you long-lasting pain relief for that pain in your knees, your hips, or your shoulders, or your back. So if you're finally ready to say goodbye to that, then call my friends at QC Kinetics for your free consultation at 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
This is the ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, in combination with Kyle Bruston Norman, as we are coming to you live from the NFL Draft. As we come to a close here, Bradley, just one last...
Isn't this the promo for the next show?
No, Homer. No, you're going to have your hour.
Never
in
mind.
The fuzzy Thursday.
Bye.
The Homer Hour will be coming up next, but we do want to get everybody hyped up. So once again, who's your guy? Who's your Lakeland University pick for today, Bradley?
My guy, my Lakeland University pick is Emeka Egbuka. I think that he is going to come in and make an immediate contribution, be your wide receiver one, and be able to start that pathway back to the Super Bowl for the Green Bay Packers.
I absolutely would love that pick, but I'm going with reality of the fact that I think we're going to go defense. So I believe it will be defensive tackle Derek Harmon out of Oregon that they go with. I do like Jason, so Maxwell Hairston as well. So we shall see. But KBN Nation, thank you so much for joining us here today. Brad, let's get everybody
Let's go,
hyped
man.
up
The draft's at Lambeau Field. We're right here. What more could you ask for? Once in a lifetime situation.
The draft is here at Lambeau Field. If you can, come on out. The crowd is piling in, but make sure you keep it locked here to ESPN Wisconsin Draft Spectacular, as we will be going and rocking until midnight. The Homer Hour is coming up next right here on ESPN Wisconsin. Peace out.